And then he got busted out of the Navy Reserve because he was snorting cocaine.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, we mentioned that, Rick. I'd forgotten about it, but a texter was Googling him and remembered it. Man, isn't the internet great? We might not have been able to get that little bit of dirt out if somebody hadn't Googled Hunter. And we're going to send out a picture of Hallie. We're going to send out a picture of Hallie Biden, and you can decide for yourself whether she's guilty or not. Okay, see me tomorrow on Fox and Friends, 7:45. I'm Howie Carr.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
It's great to be here with 1,000 wonderful people, or as I call it, a small, intimate dinner with some friends. Or as Hillary calls it, her largest crowd of the season. I have no doubt that Hillary is going to laugh quite a bit tonight, sometimes even at an appropriate moment. You know, last night I called Hillary a nasty woman. But this stuff is all relative. After listening to Hillary rattle on and on and on, I don't think so badly of Rosie O'Donnell anymore.
This is the Howie Carr Show. We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
How do you spend $1 million doing a soccer field? You have a level piece of land. Throw them a ball, let them play soccer if they have to play it all. We don't want to listen to his stuff with being politically correct and everything has to. We have a lot of work to do. 10 years ago, everybody wanted the wall. The Democrats, the Republicans, they couldn't get it. You know one of the reasons they couldn't get it? Environmental impact statements. Did you know that? There were toads. It's the most incredible thing. Number one, I wouldn't even think about anything until I built a wall impenetrable. There will be nobody coming into this country illegally. But our people don't have a clue. We give state dinners to the heads of China. I say, why are you doing state dinners for them? They're ripping us left and right. Just take them to McDonald's and go back to the negotiating table. Seriously.
This is the Howie Carr Show. The Howie Carr Show continues next. And now, a bunch of random facts with Grace.
Donald Duck comics were banned from Finland because he doesn't wear pants. Pirates wore earrings because they believed it improved their eyesight. Cockroaches can live for several weeks with their heads cut off because their brains are located inside their body. More than 60,000 people are flying over the United States in an airplane right now. A church in the Czech Republic has a chandelier made entirely of human bones. Ooh. Our eyes are always the same size from birth, but our nose and ears never stop growing. The elephant is the only animal that can't jump. ATMs were originally thought to be failures because the only users were prostitutes and gamblers who didn't want to deal with tellers face to face. It takes about 3,000 cows to supply enough leather for the NFL for only 1 year.
This has been a bunch of random facts with Grace. Check out Grace's latest posts, pictures, and blogs at HowieCarrshow.com.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain, and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about Angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone, and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
And now, 6 fun facts in 60 seconds with Grace Curley.
If your dog's feet smell like corn chips, you're not alone. The term Frito feet was coined to describe the scent. Ew. Officials in Portland, Oregon drained 8 million gallons of water from a reservoir in 2012 because a drunk 21-year-old peed in it. Also ew. There's a basketball court above the Supreme Court. It's known as the highest court in the land. If you start counting at 1 and spell out the numbers as you go, you won't use the letter A until you reach 1,000. Wendy's founder, Dave Thomas, dropped out of high school but picked up his GED in 1993. His GED class voted him most likely to succeed. William McKinley was on the $500 bill, Grover Cleveland was on the $1,000 bill, and James Madison was on the $5,000 bill.
This has been 6 Fun Facts with Grace Curley in 60 seconds. Check out Grace's latest posts, pictures, and tweets at HowieCarrShow.com.
PatriotPrepared.com carries the leading brands of storable food from Numanna, Legacy, and Heaven's Harvest. Patriot Prepared. Our name says it all. We're dedicated to empowering you to be self-reliant and confident in any circumstance. Whether you want to be prepared in the event of an emergency or you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, PatriotPrepared.com has prepackaged meals and kits for your entire family. Legacy, Heaven's Harvest, and Numanna are known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. Simple to prepare, easy to store, gluten-free and organic high-quality nutrition options with a 25-year shelf life. You can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. So go to PatriotPrepared.com right now to pick up your supply of high-quality storable food for your family, because it makes good sense to be prepared. That's PatriotPrepared.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there. That I can tell you.
But Jake, it's a massive plant, one of the biggest in the world. They're going to make all these cars, trucks, and parts. They're even making parts. It's so big, they'll make the parts, the trucks. And I actually gave them a good idea. Why don't we just let the illegals drive the cars and trucks right in through the border? They don't have to even, it's true. No, I gave them that. Save a lot of money. That'll be next. No, they'll be doing that next.
Who is Uma married to? One of the great sleazebags of our time. Anthony Weiner. Did you know that? She's married to Anthony Weiner. You know, the little bing, 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 bum, bum.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hey there, quick question for you. Would you be okay with more energy, more endurance, thicker, healthier hair, a better mood, reduced appearance of wrinkles, improved sleep, improved blood pressure and cholesterol profiles, improved vision, improved memory? Okay then. Well now, have you heard of Nature's Youth RSF? It's from the anti-aging experts at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. See, at Nature's Youth, they understand exactly what it means to provide top quality health products. And Nature's Youth customers not only improve their health, they know they're also providing their body with the right nourishment to maintain that peak performance and fight the aging process. If health, wellness, and nutrition are what you desire, choose Nature's Youth.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
And you even mentioned Kellyanne and the picture on the sofa. But I really just want to know what was going on there, because, you know, I won't tell anybody. And you can just explain to me that circumstance, because she really looked kind of familiar in that position there. But don't answer.
Live from an undisclosed location.
According to fact checks, the New York Times, the Congressional Research Service, the Washington Post, that undocumented immigrants are far less likely to commit violent crimes. Why this focus? Isn't this trying to arouse people's fears when there really isn't an issue?
Most studies show that undocumented immigrants aren't any more likely to commit crimes than citizens. In fact, they're less likely to do that.
Unchained and unstoppable.
Last night, we learned that Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General of the United States, lied under oath to his colleagues in the Senate and to the American people about his communications with the Russians.
Well, I have not met with any Russians at any time to discuss any political campaign, and those remarks are unbelievable to me and are false, and I don't have anything else to say about that.
What about so thank you. Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
And have you met with the Russian ambassador in your capacity?
I have. I've met with the Russian ambassador with a group in my capacity with a group of other senators. Yes, that happens. We meet with all the ambassadors, or try to anyway, to build the relationships.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
I was passed over for the Profiles in Courage Award again this year. I'm so angry about this. I'm disappointed and angry at the same time. I was beaten out by Barry Soetoro, the very deserving Nobel Prize winner, who just an excellent author with quotation marks around it, who just got a $65 million advance with his wife. But he needs the money because they just took in a boarder at their new house, Valerie Jarrett, born in Iran. You've had Iranian boarders at your house, who's people who've been described as your own personal Rasputins, right? Just moving into the house afterwards. Very strange. First, we learn about Joe Biden's family's rather strange arrangements, and now we find out about the Obamas. We'll get to that. We'll get to all that. 1-844-500-4242. 1-844-500-4242. That is the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show if you'd like to join us this hour of the Howie Carr Show, every hour of the Howie Carr Show. You know, I remember first time I met Jeff Sessions. First time I talked to him on the phone a few times, private on the show here and privately, and then I met him in Washington. You know, the first time I saw him, I sized him up. I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I said, that guy's a fellow traveler. He's a communist rat.
Did you smell borscht on his breath?
I did, borscht and vodka. And you know, he's a card-carrying Russian agent, a double agent. Damn it! That being that soft-spoken Methodist layman, you know, that's a clever disguise. You know, that's the best kind of communist agent to put out there. So now the Democrats are accusing Jeff Sessions of being a dupe for the communists. This is about the most ridiculous thing yet from the fake news media, and they're saying he perjured himself when he was talking to Al Franken. I mean, think about this. Al Franken, who shouldn't even be in the Senate, who stole the election basically from Norm Coleman. Shame on Norm Coleman for letting him steal the election from him in Minnesota by 321 votes. But Al Franken, he's probably a worse senator than he was a comedian, and that's saying a lot. And so Al Franken is questioning him, and I must say Al Franken didn't really set him up because he didn't ask a particularly good question. But I mean, I think you got to hear the actual question. And again, I apologize for going over this stuff again and again and again. But this is the way it is right now, that they're just inventing these stories, and they're just trying to cut off Donald Trump's best and brightest. You know, this is a guy he feels particularly close to, Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General. He was the first senator to endorse Donald Trump, may have been the first guy in Congress, period, to endorse Donald Trump, or I'm not sure about that. But, he appeared with him at an early rally in Mobile, Alabama, which is Sessions' hometown. He was wearing the red hat. Remember that? I think it was on a Friday night. A huge rally, like 30,000 people in this football stadium. And, he was with them all the way, and he's a hardliner on illegal immigration, and he's going to clean up, talk about draining the swamp. I mean, the Justice Department really, really needs to be cleaned up. And so they're going to try to take Sessions out. So what they're saying is that Sessions apparently had two meetings, and I should put that in quotation marks, meetings with the Russian ambassador last year. And again, remember, this is they're saying that he shouldn't be talking to the Russian ambassador. Claire McCaskill, for instance, says, the senator from Missouri, the endangered species Democrat from Missouri. I've been on the Armed Services Committee for 10 years. That's what he was on, one of the committees he was on. And that's why he said he met the Russian ambassador. No call or meeting with Russian ambassador ever. Ambassadors call members of Foreign Relations Committee. That was a couple hours ago. She said that a few hours ago. January 30th, 2013. Claire McCaskill tweets, off to meeting with Russian ambassador. Upset about the arbitrary/cruel decision to end all U.S. adoptions, even those in process. Okay, she's never met with him. She's never met with the Russian ambassador. Then, of course, there was August 6, 2015. Today calls with British, Russian, and German ambassadors regarding Iran deal. But she's never met with him. Remember that. Okay, so anyway, here is Al Franken asking the question that's where Jeff Sessions supposedly perjured himself. And by the way, this question, as you're going to see, this is a question about the Golden Showers dossier. As Sebastian Gorka said the other day on the show, the reason they call it a dossier is because that makes it sound like spy stuff. It makes it seem real. This is the fake news about the Golden Showers in Moscow. And by the way, BuzzFeed is now being sued for tens of millions of dollars by one of the companies that they said that was accused in that dossier, quote unquote, of doing the hacking work for the Russians. And it's all nonsense. And the lawyer's from Boston for this company that's suing BuzzFeed, and he said, we'll be glad to turn over every record in the company. See if you can find anything that we've ever dealt with the Russians. And of course they haven't. But that's the level of verisimilitude in their truth, veritas in this dossier. So Al Franken is asking Jeff Sessions about the dossier, and I should say Sessions met twice with the Russian ambassador. Once he ran into him at the Republican National Committee, the Republican National Convention in Cleveland, Ohio, last July, and there were 20 plus other ambassadors there. It was a reception that was being held by the Heritage Foundation. There were a bunch of foreign ambassadors. He shook his hand or something there, and then he had him in his office in the Senate on September the 8th. So, I mean, obviously, you know, if you're going to do some, sneaky stuff, spy stuff, you invite somebody into your office, right, in the Capitol. Everybody does that. You've seen all the James Bond movies. You know how it works, right? Okay. So this is Al Franken asking the question and Sessions' response.
But CNN just published a story alleging that the intelligence community provided documents to the president-elect last week that included information that, quote, Russian operatives claimed to have compromising personal and financial information about Mr. Trump. These documents also allegedly stated, quote, there was a continuing exchange of information during the campaign between Trump surrogates and intermediaries for the Russian government. Now, again, I'm telling you this as it's coming out, so, But if it's true, it's obviously extremely serious. And if there is any evidence that anyone affiliated with the Trump campaign communicated with the Russian government in the course of this campaign, what will you do?
Senator Franken, I'm not aware of any of those activities. I have been called a surrogate at a time or two in that campaign.
He's smiling when he
says
says this.
Not have communications with the Russians, and I'm unable to comment on it.
So he's obviously talking about the phony baloney Golden Showers report, which again was a totally bogus report, and that's what he's referring to. And they're saying this is perjury. You want to talk about an attorney general who's out of control? How about Loretta Lynch meeting on the tarmac with Bill Clinton last year when Hillary was the target? She maybe not officially a target, but she was the target of an FBI probe for those security breaches and breaking all the security laws of the State Department, the federal government required. And so Nancy Pelosi, the senile minority leader of the House, was calling for Sessions to resign. So some reporter stepped out and said, "What about the meeting with on the tarmac of the Phoenix airport with Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General, and the husband of a target of an FBI investigation?"
Thank you for your question, because there couldn't be a starker difference. Attorney General Lynch had a social encounter, serendipitous, but some might say, that the former President of the United States came by to say hello and they discussed their grandchildren. She did not have a major role in the Hillary Clinton campaign. This is a completely different thing. The reason we have been saying that the Attorney General Sessions should step aside and maybe should never have been confirmed is because he was a surrogate. He was a very important part, one of the first people in the Congress to endorse President Trump.
I've heard enough. I've heard it was just serendipity. They just bumped into each other. How often does that happen to you? You know, your spouse is under is in a photo finish with a grand jury, and you're taxiing down the tarmac in your private jet. Yeah, hey, there's the guy there's the person who's going to indict my spouse. Hey, pilot, stop that plane! Stop that plane! I'm getting off right now, and I'm gonna go ask about the grandchildren. Why doesn't, if they ask Sessions again about this, he's just say, what did you and the perfidious Ruski discuss? You say, our grandchildren. That's what Clinton said. That's what Clinton and Loretta Lynch said. We discussed our grandchildren. We'll take some calls when we come back. I'm Howie Carr.
The Howie Carr Show.
So you call yourself a fan of the Howie Carr Show, but you're not a VIP club member? You're missing out. Howie's VIP club members get daily commercial-free, on-demand podcasts of the show and access to Howie's stack of stuff. Plus, as a VIP club member, you get 5% off and free shipping every day in the Howie store. And if that's not enough, you'll get an additional 10% off Howie's cheap bastard deals. Sign up now at HowieCarShow.com. And when you become a VIP club member today, you'll get a free in-studio VIP experience. Get to HowieCarShow.com and click VIP Club to sign up.
President Trump has a secret plan to change America. It's all in David Horowitz's #1 best-selling Big Agenda. It reveals 5 major predictions about Trump that have already come true, and 16 more soon to happen. Howie Carr says you need to read Big Agenda. Newsmax calls it the best Trump book yet. Find out why the media hates Big Agenda. It's in bookstores everywhere, or get our free offer at 800 Newsmax. 800 Newsmax or BigAgenda411.com. That's BigAgenda411.com.
I went to a different dental hygienist the other day, and she couldn't stop asking me about the crowns on my teeth. She was amazed at the quality of work. Who did this, she said. Somebody did some amazing work on your mouth. Finally, I told her it was Dr. Houghton from Perfect Smiles in Nashua, New Hampshire. Dr. Houghton really is more than a dentist. He transforms your mouth, which is almost like having a facelift, but not as invasive. When you change your mouth, it changes your whole appearance. Don't be fooled by imposters with the same name. You want Dr. Houghton of Perfect Smiles in Nashua, New Hampshire. That's perfectsmiles.com. 1-844-A-PERFECT-SMILE.
Hey, listen up. This is the most important 30 seconds of your day. More than 50,000 veterans are homeless right now. Brave men and women who served our country are sleeping on the streets. Luckily, there's one New England organization who is giving these vets a second chance. Welcome to the DV Farm, operated by vets for vets. The DV Farm in southwestern New Hampshire provides housing for homeless veterans and the rehab and support they need to reintegrate back into civilian life. Learn more and find out how you can support the DV Farm at dvfarm.org. That's dvfarm.org. We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
While I'm not at this time a candidate for the presidency, I will decide by June whether or not I will become one. Business Week magazine, which is now Bloomberg Business Week, said in a vote of its readers that Donald Trump was the world's most competitive business person.
The Pew Research says that there are, for immigrants on the whole,
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Try getting it out. Go ahead. I know the greatest negotiators in the world. Some are horrible people, horrible human beings. Who cares? Some Wall Street guys, they're brutal, they're miserable. You wouldn't want to go out to dinner. They're terrible people. I love them.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And like after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code TALK.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
Would odors, mold, and mildew describe your basement or crawl space? It doesn't have to be that way. Transform them into a fresh, healthy, usable one with the technologically advanced Wave Moisture Control Units. The computerized operation maximizes moisture control and also expels harmful radon, combustion gases, and numerous other pollutants. Dehumidifiers are old technology that do nothing for air quality and waste energy. Wave units are intelligent, self-monitoring, do not need maintenance, and will save you hundreds in electricity. Wave units are still running effectively over 15 years. They've been tested and installed in public and military housing and by property managers nationwide. Buy a unit now, and if your home is not fresher and drier, you can return it for a full refund for up to 12 months. What have you got to lose? Call now. 1-888-618-WAVE. 1-888-618-WAVE. Or visit mydryhome.com. That's mydryhome.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Want more Howie Carr? Listen 24/7 online at HowieCarrShow.com. Now, back to Howie Carr.
It's Thursday, which means we've got a cheap bastard deal coming up in about at 3:35. Normally, you get 50% off on cheap bastard deals, but if you're a VIP club member, you get an additional 10% off. So sign up now, HowieCarrShow.com. Click VIP Club to start saving an extra 10% off on today's cheap bastard deal, which we'll do at 3:35. We'll get to the calls here in just a moment on this, but we have to do the poll question first. Today's poll question is brought to you by Wicked Good Cupcakes. For birthdays, anniversaries, or a special thank you, do it with Wicked Good Cupcakes. My personal favorite is double chocolate. Order today at wickedgoodcupcakes.com. Steve, what is the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Whose living arrangements are stranger?
Oh, I know who we're talking about here.
Hunter and Haley Biden or Barack Obama and Valerie Jarrett?
I'm going to say Hunter and Hallie because, I'm going to look at the Obamas in a very neutral light. See, it's like an old-style Depression-era boarding house. No, they can't.
Who are you
quite
to judge
ends,
their love, Howie?
They can't quite make ends meet, so they've had to throw in together.
I got to disagree. I think the Valerie Jarrett living with the Obamas is really, really weird.
Okay, well, how does it break down, though? This is a good poll question because it could go either way.
83% say Barack Obama and Valerie Jarrett.
Okay. That's just because the audience dislikes Barack even more than they dislike the Bidens.
Who are you to see into their minds?
As kinky as those Bidens obviously
Maybe they're just
are.
not as judgmental as you about the newfound love in the Biden family.
Right.
I think it's a heartwarming story.
It's a story of familial love is what it is. Yes, indeed. Bill from West Hartford, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Bill.
Yes, hi, Howie. Listen to this. I'm getting nostalgic deja vu for the early 1970s because not only, A, Jeff Sessions is going to have to resign, which means Donald Trump is going to be impeached like Richard Nixon was impeached. In this case, it's Russiagate instead of Watergate. But B, NASA
just because you got all the pills refilled on the first of the month, it didn't mean you had to eat every one of them in the damn bottle. You know? Now you're out of your mind.
Yes, you're right. I got my EBT card relocated yesterday.
Yeah, I'll see. This is one of those months with 31 days. He'll have DTs by the 20th of the month. I guarantee it. Won't have any money left for even fortified wine. You won't even be able to afford MD 2020. 1-844-500-4242. Mark, you're next with Howie Carr and the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Mark.
So I have a couple ideas on how Trump should handle this whole situation in the media.
Yeah.
And that is basically give them what they want. So they're asking for details about who talked to the Russians and when, who basically did election hacking and what were the details of that and what were the evidence. So they should have a press conference with, of course, the electoral map of which counties went red and which counties went blue, just to remind the Democrats of how badly they lost and why. And then go through the details, who actually hacked into election and what were the evidence, which, of course, was the Democrats.
Right.
And name the names, and then go through who talked to the Russians and why, all the way from 1779 with Benjamin Franklin asking for bullets and food, all the way to Obama. And who they were.
No, you're right, Mark. I would like to see. I can't believe that they're not pushing. I mean, I must say that Sean Spicer is using the line I started using last week, which is there is no there on this investigation. That's the way to respond to it. They keep calling for a special prosecutor. Prosecute what?
Who is the Democrat?
What are they going to prosecute? There's nothing there. They don't have anything. Again, here's another New York Times story today and a Washington Post story and Wall Street Journal story. There is nothing there. They keep talking. The only difference between this story and the other ones, they've moved it down the there is no there paragraph from the third paragraph to the ninth paragraph today. It reflected the suspicion among many in the Obama White House that the Trump campaign might have colluded on election email hacks, a suspicion American officials say has not been confirmed. How many more stories can they run on the front page saying there's no news? I'm Howie Carr.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
CNN is terrible. CNN. You're with CNN? Are you with CNN? You people do not cover us accurately at all.
So what I'm going to do is span out. Show them the crowd, press. Show them the crowd. Look, they're not turning the cameras. They don't even turn the cameras because you know what? They're very dishonest people.
Frankly, I don't even think they give a damn about education, half of them. And I'm sure some maybe do. Use that word in this. I will. Because people want to hear the truth, Frank. Here we are in the middle of a deal, and he doesn't call about that. One sentence, I'd say, you got to, before we start, get those people back. Used to be 3, now it's 4. Get those people. They'd be back the next hour.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hey guys, it's Grace from the Howie Carr Show. Gifts are always great, but who really needs more stuff? Let's be honest, between Christmas and the New Year, it's hard to come up with a nice way to give a great gift without just regifting that old fruitcake. But luckily, we have the perfect gift idea for you. It's the Howie Carr Show VIP experience. If someone you know is a fan of Howard Lawrence Carr, then this is the perfect way to celebrate any occasion. Come visit Howie in our brand new studio and watch the entire show. Best part? Well, if you were to ask Howie, he'd probably say the Kowloon. And I can't really disagree. But there is also no other way to see all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into New England's favorite radio show. Get your picture with Howie and a selfie with yours truly. We've had over 100 people enjoy the VIP experience, and the reviews have been stellar. We've even had the occasional guest on air to tell their own funny story to the listeners. So don't delay and buy your VIP experience today at HowieCarrshow.com. Click store. HowieCarrshow.com. Click store.
Hi, this is Howie Carr, attorney at law. Are you a white male who voted for Donald Trump? Do you have a Make America Great sweatshirt or a hat? Have you had a beer since November the 8th? If you answered yes to one or more of the above questions, there's a good chance that you are soon going to be charged with committing a fake hate crime. Will you be ready, you uneducated redneck? When you get charged with committing a fake hate crime, will you be ready? You need reasonable doubt at a reasonable price. And that's where Howie Carr, attorney at law, Esquire, comes in. Call me at 1-800-FAKE-HRC. 1-800-FAKE-HRC. And we will get you some legal insurance for when it inevitably occurs and you're charged with a fake hate crime.
Hey guys, it's Grace from the Howie Carr Show. Gifts are always great, but who really needs more stuff? Let's be honest, between Christmas and the New Year, it's hard to come up with a nice way to give a great gift without just regifting that old fruitcake. But luckily, we have the perfect gift idea for you. It's the Howie Carr Show VIP experience. If someone you know is a fan of Howard Lauren's car, then this is the perfect way to celebrate any occasion. Come visit Howie in our brand new studio and watch the entire show. Best part? Well, if you were to ask Howie, he'd probably say the Kowloon. And I can't really disagree. But there is also no other way to see all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into New England's favorite radio show. Get your picture with Howie and a selfie with yours truly. We've had over 100 people enjoy the VIP experience, and the reviews have been stellar. We've even had the occasional guest on air to tell their own funny story to the listeners. So don't delay and buy your VIP experience today at HowieCarrshow.com. Click store. HowieCarrshow.com. Click store.
You've listened to him for years. Now watch him in HD. Click on the Howie Cam at HowieCarrshow.com. This is the Howie Carr Show.
All right. You know what time it is. It's 3:35 or thereabouts, almost 3:35 on Thursday afternoon. That means it's time for one of our weekly features.
It's Howie Carr's cheap bastard deal.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds too good to be true.
Oh, no, it's real, and it's a steal.
You know there's plenty more when you shop at Howie's store for another Howie Carr cheap bastard deal.
Howie Carr, the cheapest bastard around.
All right. And back for an encore, yet another encore performance is Jerry Manning from the Captain Parkers down on the Cape. And this is a great deal. It never lasts for more than like a half hour, 45 minutes. We've got $25 gift cards to Captain Parker's Pub for $12.50. That's a hell of a deal. And it's just and spring is coming. And Jerry Manning, you want to tell us there's always a sure sign of spring down in Yarmouth. And what is it? Get up there close to the mic there, Jerry.
Well, sure, Howie. I just want to say it's great to be back here on your show, dealing with Steve and Grace and Kathy. It's a great way to promote our product. But we're having a great weekend coming up on Cape Cod in Yarmouth. We're having the 12th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Yeah.
Starting on Saturday.
At 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock, coming right up Route 28, right by a lot of the vibrant businesses in South Yarmouth and West Yarmouth. It's a 2-mile route, and it's going to be led by
Brandon King.
Grand Marshal Brandon King, who was
defensive back.
Yes, yeah,
for the Pats.
For the Pats, yeah, he played in the Super Bowl, and he also played for Auburn. I think he played with Cam Newton. And we're also going to have Pat Patriot, the Patriot.
And you're going to have, I'm just looking at the release here, marching bands, pipe and drum units, Irish step dancers. My favorite, the Clydesdales. They don't get too much work on the Bud ads anymore. You know, we have to have the PC ads, singing PC songs. But the Clydesdales will be in Yarmouth on Saturday.
I just hope I'm not marching behind the Clydesdales. But anyways, yeah, we're having all kinds of music in the parade. We're having pipe bands from New York City, from Boston. We're having a great group from Glasgow, Scotland, coming, a flute band.
So
the James Connolly Flute Band.
Yeah, very entertaining. They were in for lunch today at Captain Parker's, and I'll tell you.
Did they have some clam chowder?
They had clam chowder, and they had a few Guinness. They were a colorful group. So we're going to have a lot of fun. It's a great event for the families. A lot of people come down over the bridge and check into the hotels and motels on the Cape and enjoy the pool.
And it's been a fairly mild winter so far. A few weeks left, but it's been tolerable so far, and it's a good time maybe go down and start opening up your cottage or your house.
Yeah, come on down and. There's just so many different activities down there. We have the Witter Museum in Yarmouth, which is a great new cultural exhibition. Barry Clifford, the diver, that went down and found the buried treasure off of Wellfleet. It's a fantastic museum, and the kids just have a great time splashing in the pools and.
Will you be are you going to be in the parade, Jerry?
We will, yes. Yeah,
you will, because some people have been watching on the Howie Cam, and they say, how did you get Whitey out of prison in Sumterville, Florida, and bring him up here?
I don't have an orange suit on.
No, and you don't have the white Red Sox cap either. But this is not Whitey Bulger. This is Jerry Manning from Captain Parker's Pub, and again. You can go to HowieCarrShow.com, click on deals, and you can get a $25 gift certificate to Captain Parker's for $12.50.
It really is a great deal. Great deal.
And it moves fast. And even if you're not going down for the parade this weekend, the early St. Patrick's Day parade in Yarmouth, you can get these. These will be good for the summer. They'll be good. They don't expire or anything.
Yeah, they're good for life. Howard.
Good for life.
I don't know whose life, but they're good. Lifetime warranty.
So the 2-mile parade begins at 11 a.m. on Saturday, and it starts at the Bass River Sports World in Yarmouth and heads down Route 28 West. 2 miles.
2 miles of fun and music.
All right, Jerry, and thanks for coming in. We always appreciate it. And again, these things go fast, and our listeners are extremely happy to have a chance to. This is a good deal that you offer for our listeners.
Well, thanks. And again, I really appreciate the support selling our chowder. You put the word out, and all our customers that Stop and Shop and Shaw's, Roach Brothers.
It's a great product.
We really appreciate their support.
And people liked it at the food show too, didn't they? The Boston.
We were at the Boston Food Show, and we were dishing out the chowder, and people they saw the sign, Captain Parker's. Oh, this is what Howie loves.
Good.
This is the chowder Howie loves. So it really got a great.
That's right.
Great feedback.
Even if it's warm, it's still New England, and it's still the winter, and it's still a good product to warm you up a little bit. Even in the summer. But Jerry Manning from Captain Parker's Pub, we appreciate it. And again, go to HowieCarrShow.com, click on deals, and you can get the $25 gift certificate for $12.50. There's only a very limited supply, so they go fast. So get on board now.
They go fast.
They go.
Maybe next year you'll come to the parade, Howie.
Maybe next year. Can I ride a Clydesdale? That's what I want. I want to be on the Clydesdale.
Like I said, just don't be behind them.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to be. I don't care about the open car or anything like that. I just want to be on horseback, like that Ryan, that new congressman from Montana who became the Interior Secretary today. Did you see that? He rode the horse to his first day on the job. That was cool. Okay, we'll be back. We're going to take some calls in a moment. Jeff Sessions is going to have a press conference very shortly. There's rumors that his middle name, as you know, is Beauregard, and there's rumors that he's either going to change it to Boris or Bolshevik. We don't know which one. 1-844-500-4242. Hang on, everybody. We'll get to your calls in just a moment. I'm Howie Carr.
The Howie Carr Show continues next.
Dependable Lock Service, located in Nashua, New Hampshire. It has over 150 gun safes in stock. I personally have the Lincoln 25, and Dependable Lock Service will have the right safe for you, too. From customized color options, dial, or electronic lock, they are the #1 best-selling safes in America, and they are made right here in America. Stop by and visit Dependable Lock Service, located on West Hollis Street in Nashua, or visit LibertySafeNewHampshire.com.
Hello out there. Incredibly bad Christopher Walken impersonator here. I asked my friends at Matthews Brothers, after 163 years, how did you survive the tough times? They told me a little frog was hopping around a barnyard and, being somewhat of a carefree scamp and perhaps a tad too curious, ended up falling into a pail half filled with fresh milk. He swam about, attempting to reach the top of the pail, but the sides were too steep to climb. He tried to stretch his little back legs to push off the bottom, but it was too deep. Although he was scared, this frog had spunk. He had determination. He would not give up. So he continued to struggle. He kicked and he squirmed and he kicked, until at last all his kicking and squirming about had churned that milk into a big hunk of butter, solid enough for him to climb onto and get out of that pail. You never give up. You can see the results of this singular commitment to wicked awesomeness, but only at better lumberyards and window professionals, or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
We've all seen what happens when a crab fishing ship's hydraulic system fails on the Bering Sea. Well, you don't have to be dead in the water. Bring your broken hydraulic hose assembly to the Parker store, and their certified specialists will replace it while you wait. From land to sea, small to large, the Parker store will get your hydraulic hose assembly back up and running. Parker store locations are throughout New England. Visit theparkerstore.com, theparkerstore.com.
And now, a bunch of random facts with Grace.
It is impossible to sneeze with your eyes open. The placement of a donkey's eyes in its head enables it to see all 4 feet at all times. Months that begin on a Sunday will always have a Friday the 13th. What is called a French kiss in the English-speaking world is known as an English kiss in France. Birds don't urinate, but they do poop. Let me tell you, you can't kill yourself by holding your breath. So that's good. A woman from California once tried to sue the makers of Cap'n Crunch because the Crunch berries contained no berries of any kind. In Japan, crooked teeth are considered cute and attractive. A Swedish woman lost her wedding ring and found it 16 years later, growing on a carrot in her garden. The toothpaste Colgate in Spanish translates to, go hang yourself.
This has been a bunch of random facts with Grace. Check out Grace's latest posts, pictures, and blogs at HowieCarrshow.com.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain, and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about Angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone, and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
Hi, folks. In a world of GMO, genetically modified organisms, that is, chemicals, processed foods, and a healthcare system that's unraveling like a cheap suit, it's time to prepare. God created herbs, and herbs help man. Our body can heal itself, just sometimes we need assistance. You need some help? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Our mild detox is quite powerful with its unique blend of 8 different herbs. And if you're looking for more, our non-GMO supplements will help you with different needs you might have. Health should be a top priority. Take care of your health naturally. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Give your body a treat. Let the herbs do their thing naturally. Read all the testimonies on the website, GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Sickness and viruses are like intruders, and herbs are like warriors. Let the tea work for you. That's GetTheTea.com.
Send Howie a text to 680-680. This is the Howie Carr Show.
Heavy winds today in New England, as you know, but it's nothing compared to the hot air down in D.C. over this thing. And we'll try to switch to to Sessions' press conference when he has it. But we'll take a couple of calls here. 1-844-500-4242. Roland, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Roland.
I hope Sessions doesn't play defense when he comes out and does his press conference, because I don't think that that would be the tack to take. In fact, I think it's important that the Republicans circle the wagons. They've let Trump do a lot of the heavy lifting on this so far, and that's disappointing, because if they get another scalp, then it's going to be real trouble. It's going to be death by 1,000 cuts.
I don't think they're going to get this. I don't think Roland, I don't think Trump would throw Sessions under the bus. I mean, and there's nothing to throw him under the bus for. You notice this happened on the same day that the stories broke that the Justice Department under Sessions is going to try to shut down this giant slush fund operation that they've had going to funnel money to La Raza and all these groups. What they do is they sue a big bank like a Wells Fargo, and then they say, well, we'll settle up with you, but you have to make a payment of millions and millions of dollars to a third-party group. And it's always some, under Obama, Holder, and Lynch, it was always some radical leftist group. And they funneled billions of dollars into these leftist groups. And this story, as soon as they announce the crackdown, Jeff Sessions gets clipped like this. Coincidence?
Well, of course not. Well, then that ought to be what he talks about in his press conference, and he ought to call it out as the disinformation campaign that it is. And do you think the irony's lost on the thugs on the left, that they use the same tactics, same smear and disinformation tactics to take out their opponents as they do in the Soviet Union? It probably is. I don't give them credit for having that much acumen. Do you?
Yeah, I know. There's so many ironies in this case. You know that they're using the people who decry or have for so many decades decried McCarthyite tactics are using total McCarthyite guilt by association. Misdirection, inference. It's just ridiculous. And these New York Times stories. I mean, I know the Washington Post was the one breaking this one, but it's just all. There's two recurring themes in the story. Number one is there is no evidence. The second theme is their suspicions were great. The more they don't have any evidence, the more their suspicions grow. I'll just read you a few things here. The details of the meeting were not clear. Mr. Trump's statements stoked fears. A suspicion that American officials say has not been confirmed. White House officials grew convinced that the intelligence was damning. They grew convinced. Well, let's indict. There you go. Well, that's beyond a reasonable doubt. They grew convinced. Here's another one. An independent public assessment of the competing Obama and Trump administration claims is impossible. So we're going to believe the Obama people because they have such a record of truthfulness, because if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. And the Benghazi was caused by a video, and the ISIS is the JV team. So obviously the Obama people have the upper hand when it comes to truth.
Were they spying on Jeff Sessions?
No, I think they were spying. I think they were following around the Russian ambassador. I got no problems with that. But I mean, I'm sure that the Russian ambassador met with a lot of other senators. And these political conventions. I mean, everybody's meeting with everybody else. I mean, I ran into Milo, right? And let me just say, I am not a member of a pedophile ring. Okay. I think I met Alex Jones, too, didn't I, Steve?
Yes, you did. And Cenk Uyghur, and you're not a progressive Bernie lover.
Right.
I mean, you were like within spitting distance of David Gergen.
Yes, and I'm not.
And Jake Tapper.
Oh.
Actually, you were right across from the CNN bureau.
That's right.
You might have gotten some on you.
Yeah, exactly. I love this. Here's one of my favorite lines. It wasn't until after the election that the administration began to grasp the scope of the suspected tampering. Wait a second. If they only suspected the tampering, how could they grasp the scope? I mean, if they can only suspect it, they have no idea what the scope is, right? I mean, I hate to sound like Abe Rosenthal. I was raised as he was like the guy who, always was the great editor, and I always thought, what a boring old fart Abe Rosenthal must be. Now I feel like him, I wouldn't let that crap go through into my paper if I were a city editor again. grasp the scope of the suspected tampering. Oh, and then of course we have to, when we talk about how the paranoia, we have to go to the next line. The nature of the contacts remains unknown. So I guess we don't know I guess we haven't grasped the scope then, have we? If the nature of the contacts remains unknown. Oh, and then here we go. And then now here's the guilt by association thing. The label intelligence official. See, so anyway, what they're saying here is whenever you talk to a Russian, you're guilty, right? I mean, this is classic Joe McCarthy technique.
Unless you're Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton.
Right. Maybe this is why the Kennedys love Joe McCarthy so much, you know? The label intelligence official is not always cleanly applied in Russia. Really? Just kind of like the label journalist is not always cleanly applied in the United States, where it can mean a partisan political hack like Chuck Todd or Jake Tapper or George Stephanopoulos. But where ex-spies, oligarchs, and government officials often report back to the intelligence services and elsewhere in the Kremlin. In other words, if you go into a restaurant and they say, what kind of dressing you want on that salad? And you say Russian. You could be a card-carrying member of the Red Army.
I went to high school with a Russian foreign exchange student.
There you go. Well, you're obviously guilty. And tonight I got to write my column after the show. I'll be rushing. I won't be rushing out the door. No. I'll be sauntering out the door. Judith, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Judith.
Well, thank you for taking my call. I've only been waiting for 45 minutes.
Sorry, Judith. I apologize.
Let me digress for a minute. I think the reason why this is all occurring is because we had such cowardly people in Congress and the Senate before when Obama was in. If we had attacked him at every time he had broken the law or whatever, or even tried to impeach him, we wouldn't be going through this. Mm-hmm. Number two, I think Sessions is the person that is going to expose all the crimes that the previous administration was engaged in.
Right, like the slush fund I was just talking about, just for one example. Yes, exactly. I mean, that was certainly improper, if not illegal. But
number three.
Yeah, go ahead.
What are we going to do with Lindsey Graham and John McCain? I mean, they were on TV last night. I mean, come on. We talk about the Republicans having to get it together and lead the people and have some kind of offense. Those people ought to go away. And number four, isn't this treason to have a black ops mansion on Kalorama, and now they're going to make that the nerve center for overthrowing the government?
I know. You know what when I read that, Judith, I was thinking, back in Cuba before Fidel Castro, there was a guy. The dictator was Batista. Batista was there in like the 40s, and then he was thrown out for a while. He lost the election or something. Something happened, and he went to South Florida, and he just set up a base in South Florida where he destabilized the government in Cuba. And then he eventually came back in the 50s, with Meyer Lansky and Santo Trafficante and all those gangsters. And this is the same type of thing, isn't it? I mean, Obama has been overthrown, and now he's going to set up. He's going to be like Batista for the 21st century, trying to destabilize the democratically elected government. This is third world banana republic BS.
Well, I think it's worse than that, and I'm not a lawyer. I think that somebody like Sessions could certainly call this treason. They could get to, this is ridiculous. We have a duly elected president.
I know. He has his rights, but this is certainly improper.
He's got an army.
He does have an army. The interesting thing about this is the only attributed quote in this New York Times story is from Obama's spokesman. Obama has a spokesman commenting on this investigation. And here's the headline: Obama administration rushed to preserve intelligence of Russian election hacking. Well, so now we've had how many stories? At least 4 stories, right, about the Russian election hacking. Where is the intelligence? Where, if the Obama administration rushed to preserve the intelligence, Why haven't we seen any of the intelligence? Perhaps there's no intelligence? Is that possible? Thanks for the call, Judith. Mike, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Mike. Quickly.
Hi, Howie.
Hi.
Yep. You remember this whole movie, Gaslight? I'm thinking that's what the media is doing, is just trying to gaslight everyone into believing what their story is about, against Trump and against Sessions and all these guys. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, Watergate was kind of overblown, but there was a burglary there, and it did lead back to the White House, circuitously perhaps, but it did lead back, and there were these sleazy guys involved. Where's the crime here? Where are the Cuban burglars? Where is the break-in? Where is the Watergate here? There, as Sean Spicer said, there is no there. When we come back, we're going to have Sheriff David Clark with us from Milwaukee County. We'll get his take on this. I'm Howie Carr.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
John McCain goes, oh boy, Trump makes my life difficult. He had 15,000 crazies show up. Crazies. He called them all crazy. I said, they weren't crazy. They were great Americans. These people, if you would have seen these people, I know what crazy is. I know all about crazies. These weren't crazy. So he insulted me, and he insulted everybody in that room. And I said, somebody should run against John McCain, who has been, in my opinion, not so hot. And I supported him. I supported him for president. I raised $1 million for him. It's a lot of money. I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that, because I don't like losers. And the poll just came out, and I'm tied with Jeb Bush. And I said, oh, that's too bad. How can I be tied with this guy? He's terrible. He's terrible.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hey there. Quick question for you. Would you be okay with more energy, more endurance, thicker, healthier hair, a better mood, reduced appearance of wrinkles, improved sleep, improved blood pressure and cholesterol profiles, improved vision, improved memory? Okay then. Well now, have you heard of Nature's Youth RSF? It's from the anti-aging experts at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. See, at Nature's Youth, they understand exactly what it means to provide top-quality health products. And Nature's Youth customers not only improve their health, they know they're also providing their body with the right nourishment to maintain that peak performance and fight the aging process. If health, wellness, and nutrition are what you desire, choose Nature's Youth RSF. I did. You see, you're going to get older. It's just up to you how you feel when you get there. Get started today. Nature's Youth RSF. Simple to use, simple to order. Go to nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com.
The Howie Carr Show continues next. We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
John McCain goes, oh boy, Trump makes my life difficult. He had 15,000 crazies show up. Crazies. He called them all crazy. I said, they weren't crazy. They were great Americans. These people, if you would have seen these people, I know what crazy is. I know all about crazies. These weren't crazy. So he insulted me, and he insulted everybody in that room. And I said, somebody should run against John McCain, who has been, in my opinion, not so hot. And I supported him. I supported him for president. I raised $1 million for him. It's a lot of money. I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that, because I don't like losers. And the poll just came out, and I'm tied with Jeb Bush. And I said, oh, that's too bad. How can I be tied with this guy? He's terrible. He's terrible.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hey there. Quick question for you. Would you be okay with more energy, more endurance, thicker, healthier hair, a better mood, reduced appearance of wrinkles, improved sleep, improved blood pressure and cholesterol profiles, improved vision, improved memory? Okay then. Well now, have you heard of Nature's Youth RSF? It's from the anti-aging experts at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. See, at Nature's Youth, they understand exactly what it means to provide top-quality health products. And Nature's Youth customers not only improve their health, they know they're also providing their body with the right nourishment to maintain that peak performance and fight the aging process. If health, wellness, and nutrition are what you desire, choose Nature's Youth RSF. I did. You see, you're going to get older. It's just up to you how you feel when you get there. Get started today. Nature's Youth RSF. Simple to use, simple to order. Go to naturesyouth.com. That's naturesyouth.com. naturesyouth.com.
And now, 60 seconds of liberals freaking out over the election of Donald J. Trump.
Well, America is crying tonight. I'm not sure how much of America, but a very, very significant portion. And I mean literally crying.
Everybody is crying and so upset, and it is the end of their world.
Feels like the end of the world.
We were on Lifetime last night, and I was slowly getting drunk.
This is the time for real wisdom. Lightning round. I genuinely do not understand how America can be this disorganized or this hateful.
You know, she was Hillary Clinton, the most qualified candidate, the best suited for the job, the best temperament. Now we're hearing not a good candidate.
History is put on hold yet again.
They're scared, depressed, despaired, desperate even, almost clinging to me.
Plus the Supreme Court, who knows where that's going to go. So the only checks and balances we have are us, the view.
Trump derangement syndrome. It's a real thing, folks.
If your home has hard water, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes, damaging your appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars each year. You can eliminate limescale in the entire house with HydroCare products available at Wave Home Solutions. Easy and efficient with no maintenance, no salts, no chemicals, and no coils. And you can buy with confidence from Wave Home Solutions. Performance guaranteed. Just go to bestwater411.com. That's bestwater411.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
So the Mexican government is not happy with me, to put it mildly. And again, I respect Mexico, but their leaders are too smart for our leaders, because we have stupid leaders, okay? You mean it's not politically correct, and yet everybody uses it? All right, so you know what? Give me a different term. Give me a different term. What else would you like to say? Or you want me to say that? Okay, no, I'll use the word anchor baby. Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. They dunk people with a cage. Did you see that? They dunk them and drown them. These people make Saddam Hussein look like a choir boy. I know Anthony Weiner for a long time. I knew before they caught him with the bing, 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 right? And he was a bad guy then. It turned out that he was a really bad guy. I beat the people from China. I win against China. You can win against China if you're smart. But our people don't have a clue.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And like after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to Balance of Nature.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
And you even mentioned Kellyanne and the picture on the sofa. But I really just want to know what was going on there. Because, you know, I won't tell anybody. And you can just explain to me that circumstance, because she really looked kind of familiar in that position there. But don't answer.
live from an undisclosed location.
According to fact checks, the New York Times, the Congressional Research Service, the Washington Post, that undocumented immigrants are far less likely to commit violent crimes. Why this focus? Isn't this trying to arouse people's fears when there really isn't an issue?
Most studies show that undocumented immigrants aren't any more likely to commit crimes than citizens. In fact, they're less likely to do that.
Unchained and unstoppable.
Last night, we learned that Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General of the United States, lied under oath to his colleagues in the Senate and to the American people about his communications with the Russians.
Well, I have not met with any Russians at any time to discuss any political campaign, and those remarks are unbelievable to me and are false, and I don't have anything else to say about that.
What about
so thank you.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
And have you met with the Russian ambassador in your capacity?
I have. I've met with the Russian ambassador with a group in my capacity with a group of other senators. Yes, that happens. We meet with all the ambassadors, or try to anyway, to build the relationships.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
Welcome to the Howie Carr Show. First of all, the update on the Joe Biden's son and his daughter-in-law. It turns out that Hunter Biden, the surviving son, who's now living with is split from his wife and is living with his former sister-in-law, Hallie. The Daily Mail in London got the divorce records, and Kathleen Biden is accusing Hunter Biden of spending the family fortune recklessly on drugs, prostitutes, and an $80,000 a year diamond. Try not to let that destroy your faith in the integrity of the Democrat Party. We're going to move on, though. We want to talk to Sheriff David Clark. You know who he is. You've seen him on Fox many times. He's been on this show before. He was one of the surrogates for the Trump campaign, even though he's a Democrat elected sheriff in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And he's got a new book out, and it's called Cop Under Fire, Moving Beyond Hashtags of Race, Crime, and Politics for a Better America. Sheriff David Clark, thanks for being with us again here on the Howie Carr Show.
Hey, it's my pleasure, but just to let you know, the Democrat Party has no integrity.
The Democrat Party has... That's kind of a recurring joke on my show, Sheriff. You know, just we always say that. Try not to let it destroy your faith in the integrity of, and then we list something that doesn't have any integrity. Listen, you're a surrogate, so I guess you know, how many times have you been talking to these Russians, these nefarious agents of the Kremlin that are moving in the Trump organization?
You know, I've been watching this intently, and what's happening to Jeff Sessions is, I'll tell you, it's a sin. Jeff Sessions is a good man. This is one of those situations where they're out to destroy him. Look, the American people are tired of this politics as usual in Washington, D.C. It's why President Trump now was able to rise up and beat the establishment. We were tired of this Beltway nonsense. These people refuse on Capitol Hill, and it's both parties, refuse to focus on the issues of the American people, trying to kickstart this economy, repeal and replace Obamacare. We have infrastructure repair we have to get to. We have crime and violence that's running rampant in our central cities. There's just too much going on, but instead they play this gotcha stuff. They go on these witch hunts to try to destroy. They got General Flynn. Now they're out for Jeff Sessions, all these high-value targets. This is what goes on in Washington, D.C., but the American public, they're sick of it.
They'd go after you if they could. If you were in there and they had the slight, yeah, they are. They're trying to get you.
They're trying. I'm a high-value target within this whole cabal out in Washington D.C. because I was out front and I fought hard and I fought very ferociously on behalf of then candidate Donald Trump to help him become the 45th president of the United States. I believe I was instrumental in suppressing, keeping the black vote down for Mrs. Bill Clinton, as I called her. Blacks did not turn out. Yeah. Blacks did not turn out in the record numbers that they did for Barack Obama. And I told blacks black voters on any chance I got here. You got two choices. Donald Trump has asked for your vote. He said, give me a chance. What do you have to lose? I said, vote for Donald Trump or stay home. And you know what? Donald Trump got more black votes, even though people say, well, it was only 8%. He got more black votes than any Republican in recent history. And guess what? Record numbers stayed home.
Yeah. Let's cut in. I just want to hold on, Sheriff Clark. I just want to cut into to Jeff Sessions just for a moment here, just to see what he's having to say. Sure. His press conference started. Hold on.
And have done as I promised. I have met with senior officials shortly after arriving here. We evaluated the rules of ethics and recusal. I have considered the issues at stake. In fact, on Monday of this week, we set a meeting with an eye to a final decision on this question. And on Monday, we set that meeting today. So this was a day that we planned to have a final discussion about handle this. I asked for their candid and honest opinion about what I should do about investigations, certain investigations. And my staff recommended recusal. They said that since I had involvement with the campaign, I should not be involved in any campaign investigation. I have studied the rules and considered their comments and evaluation. I believe those recommendations are right and just.
So he is going to recuse himself, Sheriff Clark. You know, I guess he's going to do that. You know, the thing is, Sheriff Clark, though, what the hell are they investigating? You're in law enforcement. I mean, what is good? They keep talking about they're preserving the investigation. They haven't found anything so far. I mean, how long does this go on before they realize it's a dry hole?
It's going to go on for 4 years. This is what they've latched on to. The FBI. First, they tried to blame the FBI and the director for Mrs. Bill Clinton's loss. Then they tried to blame the intelligence agencies, and now the Russians, and now they're hanging on to this Russian thing. But here's something to think about. Loretta Lynch met with Bill Clinton on a tarmac in what they thought was a secret meeting. Bill Clinton's wife was under current investigation with the FBI. Loretta Lynch had ethical implications and criminal as well, misconduct, in meeting with the husband of a target under current investigation with the United States Department of Justice. She initially lied about it, said, I didn't know what you're talking about. Then when it was disclosed that there was information that she had met, she said, well, yeah, we met, but we just talked about his grandchildren and his golf game. And then when the pressure kept building on her, she came out and admitted. She said, what I did was wrong. I should never have done that, and I apologize. But the difference here is that the GOP, they don't know how to fight. They should have called for investigation against her. They should have called for her resignation, but they don't. So we get this situation now with Jeff Sessions, and I'm hearing people like Chaffetz and others who are piling on. What the Democrats do is they circle the wagons and they shoot outward. They attack the people who are attacking them. The Democrats circle the wagons and fire inward at their own people. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the way the GOP will throw their people overboard. And I'm not saying that the GOP should condone wrong behavior, but that's not what this is. This is a political witch hunt, and I'll be very disappointed in the GOP because I don't belong to either political party. But I've been fighting for the issues that are germane to the GOP. But if they keep this crap up, if they don't start protecting their own, they're going to lose me.
So tell us about your book, Cop Under Fire.
Yeah, kind of interesting. You know, the title, Cop Under Fire. It talks about these same situations. You know what? Most people with me, they only get the benefit of a soundbite. I do a lot of TV, a little radio, and you only get so much time to make a point. So you have to talk in sound bites. But what this book does is it allows people, the reader, a deeper dive into those sound bites. When I make a sound bite, when I do a sound bite, there's substance to it, but I don't always get to explain what that substance is in 3-4 minutes. So in this book, I take those topics. I take, race, crime, politics, other issues, the cultural rot going on in our central cities, and I put meat on the bone, and that's what people get the benefit of. They'll understand how and why I come to the decisions I do, the positions I take. They're not just opinions.
I loved reading about how you collared that unruly passenger on the plane a couple of months ago. That's great. You put your money where your mouth was, Sheriff.
Exactly. That's the kind of stuff that I have to put up with. But, I chose this profession. I've been in it for nearly 40 years. It's a great profession. That's why in the book as well, I went on offense and protected the integrity of this great profession called American policing. It's what I was alluding to with the GOP. They don't have the backbone to fight and stand up for their principles and what they believe in. But in the book, I went several years ago after the ugly days of Ferguson, Missouri, when law enforcement as a profession came under attack from some very powerful people, including Barack Obama, who was an echo chamber in the White House for anti-police rhetoric, Eric Holder, Loretta Lynch, and others, the usual race baiters. They started to tear this profession apart. We are better trained, we're more educated, and we're more professional as an institution, policing, than we've ever been in our history. Are we perfect? By no stretch of the imagination. Our law enforcement agency is perfect, not even close. But guess what? These great American cities that we see that are under siege, New York, Baltimore, L.A., Chicago, Milwaukee, Dallas, they would collapse without the American law enforcement officer, and I go into that in the book.
You're an elected official, correct?
That's correct.
So are you running for re-election?
I'm in the middle of a 4-year term. I have 2 years to go. So I have some time to think about that. I take this one day at a time.
So were you elected as a Democrat or a Republican? Democrat, right?
I ran as a Democrat. I did not belong to the Democrat Party. That's part of their problem with me, but it's not the only part.
Well, I think Milwaukee is sort of the Democratic center of Wisconsin, isn't it? Would you have a tough time getting reelected if you ran as an independent or a Republican?
Yeah, it'd be a little difficult strategically, but you know what? Milwaukee's my hometown. The people, the electorate, the voters in Milwaukee, they know who I am. They know where my heart's at. They see beyond the politics of this. They know that my heart's in the right place and that I put their interests first, and that's why. I've been elected 4 times under the same situation, the same electorate, and I've been speaking like I'm speaking today for the last 15 years. So there's no surprise by the electorate of Milwaukee County. They realize that I'm the right guy for this
I'm sure
job.
there are a lot of moonbat Democrats, though, in a big city like Milwaukee. I mean, one last question. Do you take a lot of crap from those people, the Chuck Schumer types, the Al Franken types in Milwaukee?
Every single day. This is a fight every day, but it's a fight that's worth it on behalf of the people of Milwaukee County. But, again, I go into some of this in the book, Cop Under Fire. I'm real pleased that debuted on Amazon in their top 100. It debuted at number 7, and it got as high as number 3, and it's number 1 in some categories. So it's off to a good start. It'll be a great read for people if they like what they hear in interviews like this. Your platform, I want to thank you for the use of your platform to promote this book. But if they like what they see in a sound bite in a short period of time, they'll love the book.
All right, Sheriff David Clark. I saw you at the convention. You weren't with a Russian. I don't believe you were anyway, but maybe I'm wrong. You were wearing a cowboy hat, I believe. But anyway,
they don't wear those in Moscow.
Okay, that's Sheriff David Clark from Milwaukee. You've seen him on Fox many times and other cable networks. The title of his new book is Cop Under Fire, Moving Beyond the Hashtags of Race, Crime, and Politics for a Better America. You can order it on Amazon.com. Thanks, Sheriff Clark. I'm Howie Carr.
Hang on. The Howie Carr Show returns next. It's here. Howie Carr's latest book, Kennedy Babylon, A Century of Depravity and Scandal. Kennedy Babylon is a whirlwind tour of scandals from the days of the Kennedy clan's rabidly anti-Semitic patriarch to the death of JFK Jr. Ann Coulter says Howie Carr is making Kennedy books great again. You'll love the never-before-seen images of the Kennedy family in Howie Carr's latest book, Kennedy Babylon, A Century of Depravity and Scandal. Now shipping. Order today at HowieCarrShow.com. Click Kennedy Babylon.
President Trump has a secret plan to change America. It's all in David Horowitz's #1 best-selling Big Agenda. It reveals 5 major predictions about Trump that have already come true and 16 more soon to happen. Howie Carr says you need to read Big Agenda. Newsmax calls it the best Trump book yet. Find out why the media hates Big Agenda. It's in bookstores everywhere, or get our free offer at 800 Newsmax. 800 Newsmax or BigAgenda411.com. That's BigAgenda411.com.
Are you a veteran? Or maybe you consider yourself a dysfunctional veteran. Good news, there's a store just for you. It's called the Dysfunctional Veteran Store, with t-shirts and sweatshirts that get the message across loud and clear, like this black t-shirt that says boldly across the front, Dysfunctional Veteran, leave me alone. And then there's the t-shirt that takes a major dig at the VA. It says, the VA, giving veterans a second chance to die for their country since 1930. How'd you like to wear that around? Are you a dysfunctional veteran? Shop the Dysfunctional Veteran Store at mydvstore.com. That's mydvstore.com.
Trucking companies and general contractors, keep your light to heavy hydraulic equipment running with the Parker Store. The Parker Store will replace your broken hydraulic hose assembly while you wait. New England locations include Bangor, Lewiston and Portland, Maine, Manchester, New Hampshire, Fitchburg and Weymouth, Mass, Cranston, Rhode Island, and coming soon to North Haven, Connecticut. Visit theparkerstore.com, theparkerstore.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
In the center of the stage tonight, businessman Donald Trump.
I would never give up my microphone. I thought that was disgusting. That showed such weakness. The way he was taken away by two young women. The microphone, they just took the whole place over. That will never happen with me. I don't know if I'll do the fighting myself or if other people will. But that was a disgrace. The way I felt badly for him.
You're not supposed to say that somebody graduated last or second to last in their class, because you're supposed to be, like Frank says, very nice. Folks, I want to make America great again. We want to get down to brass tacks. We don't want to listen to his stuff with being politically correct and everything has... We have a lot of work to do.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hey guys, it's Grace from the Howie Carr Show. Gifts are always great, but who really needs more stuff? Let's be honest, between Christmas and the New Year, it's hard to come up with a nice way to give a great gift without just regifting that old fruitcake. But luckily, we have the perfect gift idea for you. It's the Howie Carr Show VIP experience. If someone you know is a fan of Howard Lauren's car, then this is the perfect way to celebrate any occasion. Come visit Howie in our brand new studio and watch the entire show. Best part? Well, if you were to ask Howie, he'd probably say the Kowloon. And I can't really disagree. But there is also no other way to see all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into New England's favorite radio show. Get your picture with Howie and a selfie with yours truly. We've had over 100 people enjoy the VIP experience, and the reviews have been stellar. We've even had the occasional guest on air to tell their own funny story to the listeners. So don't delay and buy your VIP experience today at HowieCarShow.com. Click store. HowieCarShow.com. Click store.
PatriotPrepared.com carries the leading brands of storable food from Numanna, Legacy, and Heaven's Harvest. Patriot Prepared. Our name says it all. We're dedicated to empowering you to be self-reliant and confident in any circumstance. Whether you want to be prepared in the event of an emergency or you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, PatriotPrepared.com has prepackaged meals and kits for your entire family. Legacy, Heaven's Harvest, and Numanna are known for high-quality, great-tasting GMO-free, nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. Simple to prepare, easy to store, gluten-free and organic high-quality nutrition options with a 25-year shelf life. You can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. So go to PatriotPrepared.com right now to pick up your supply of high-quality storable food for your family, because it makes good sense to be prepared. That's PatriotPrepared.com.
He's on your radio and on your smartphone. Download the Howie Carr app on the iTunes or Android app stores. This is the Howie Carr Show.
But most of these ambassadors are pretty gossipy, and they liked, this was in the campaign season, but I don't recall any specific political discussions.
I believe him. You know, they're asking for a special prosecutor. There was no crime committed. There was there were multiple crimes committed in Fast and Furious. Were there ever any special prosecutor appointed? I mean, the Republicans, they are a gutless, spineless lot, as Sheriff Clark pointed out on Capitol Hill. But what was the point of calling for a special prosecutor when you know they would just laugh in your face? There's not going to be Democrat special prosecutors. Give me a break. How about the IRS? That always bugs the hell out of me. The IRS. Those were multiple criminal violations of people's First Amendment rights, and violations of the privacy laws, all that. And no special prosecutor there. Is Lois Lerner in jail? No, she's got a $100,000 plus pension a year. How about Benghazi? Was there a special prosecutor there? How about all those lies? None. I don't recall any of those special prosecutors. How about when Eric Holder was held in contempt of court? Was he prosecuted? No. Not contempt of Congress, I should say. Excuse me.
The other thing is, how many times did you have Senator Sessions on the show and try and bait him into attacking other senators or saying anything soundbite worthy? He's a very careful man. He never gave you what you wanted in terms of a soundbite because he's very careful.
No, he is very careful, and I guess maybe I'm speaking a little out of school. I used to speak to him off air. I would speak to him, at night or on the weekends, and I would say, please come back and say, be a little more forthcoming, so I don't have to be pulling teeth when I'm talking to you. But again, he is cautious, and he's sober. He's a Methodist, in the old-fashioned way. Today's poll question is brought to you by Wicked Good Cupcakes. For birthdays, anniversaries, or a special thank you, do it with Wicked Good Cupcakes. My personal favorite is double chocolate. Order today at wickedgoodcupcakes.com. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Whose living arrangements are stranger? Hunter and Hallie Biden or Barack Obama and Valerie Jarrett?
I'm going to say Hunter and Hallie, and now I'm backed up by the Daily Mail, which talks
about
Hunter's habits with prostitutes and drugs and buying fancy diamonds.
81% still say it's Barack Obama and Valerie Jarrett, though.
I got to get the whole story and read from that. I can't believe they haven't got the divorce file sealed. I mean, it's for guys like Hunter Biden that you get the divorce file sealed. Alan, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Alan.
Hi, Howie. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks.
What an honor to follow Sheriff Clark. I tell you, what a good guy. Right there from the beginning. It's just been disappointing watching the news from this morning on after Jeff Sessions just getting railroaded. What a good man. What a good God-fearing man. Let me tell you, Jeff Sessions. I mean, for all people to be attacking this man is not just is he smart. He's a lawyer, and he wouldn't say anything that would do anything damaging anyways.
He was the U.S. attorney for all those years. He was the U.S. attorney in Alabama for all those years, and he should have been on the federal bench. He got he was railroaded in that case, and I'm glad that Trump is standing behind him so he doesn't get railroaded out of being AG. Thanks for the call, Alan. 1-844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
And now, 60 seconds of liberals freaking out over the election of Donald J. Trump.
You're awake, by the way. You're not having a terrible, terrible dream. Also, you're not dead and you haven't gone to hell. This is your life now. This is our election now. This is us. This is our country.
This is a different Earth today than it was 24 hours ago. It's a different place. It just is different.
The woman who President Obama called the most qualified person ever to run for the White House couldn't break through. The question remains, who can?
Deeper concerns tonight that the world's shining light of democracy has gone dark.
Decency lost last night, and that's what's so hurtful about this.
This was a white lash. This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a black president in part. And that's the part where the pain comes.
How do we explain how this is possible?
How did this happen?
Trump derangement syndrome. It's a real thing, folks.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain, and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking angioprim, the pain was gone, and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
Would odors, mold, and mildew describe your basement or crawl space? It doesn't have to be that way. Transform them into a fresh, healthy, usable one with the technologically advanced Wave moisture control units. The computerized operation maximizes moisture control and also expels harmful radon, combustion gases, and numerous other pollutants. Dehumidifiers are old technology that do nothing for air quality and waste energy. Wave units are intelligent, self-monitoring, do not need maintenance, and will save you hundreds in electricity. Wave units are still running effectively over 15 years. They've been tested and installed in public and military housing and by property managers nationwide. Buy a unit now, and if your home is not fresher and drier, you can return it for a full refund for up to 12 months. What have you got to lose? Call now. 1-888-618-WAVE. 1-888-618-WAVE. Or visit mydryhome.com. That's mydryhome.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
And now, 6 fun facts in 60 seconds with Grace Curley.
A hummingbird weighs less than a penny. The founders of Google were willing to sell Google for $1 million to Excite in 1999, but Excite turned them down. Google is now worth $527 billion. On average, 12 newborns will be given to the wrong parents daily. There are no clocks in Las Vegas gambling casinos. Sea otters hold hands while they sleep so they won't drift apart. Aww. Do you ever wonder where the phrase, "it's raining cats and dogs" comes from? In the 17th century, many homeless cats and dogs would drown and float down the streets of England, making it look like it literally rained cats and dogs.
This has been 6 fun facts with Grace Curley in 60 seconds. Check out Grace's latest posts, pictures, and tweets at HowieCarrShow.com. He might not know how to copy and paste, but he's figured out how to tweet. Follow Howie on Twitter at Howie Carr Show. Now, back to Howie Carr.
One 844-500-4242. My book is out. Kennedy Babylon. You can order it at HowieCarrShow.com. HowieCarrShow.com. It's a great read. And go to just click on Kennedy Babylon, and you can order it, and we'll get it right out to you immediately. This half hour of the Howie Carr Show is powered by Captain Parker's Chowder Company. And by the way, we're out of the Captain Parker's gift certificates. They went fast, as they always do. Warm up this winter and buy Captain Parker's Chowder at your favorite market. It is easy with the heat and serve pouch. And we had Jerry Manning on, and he owns Captain Parker's Chowder Company and the pub. And he's one of the sponsors of the parade, the early St. Patrick's Day parade in Yarmouth. It starts at 11 o'clock on Saturday on Route 28. Now, you've been hearing a lot the last few days about how, since the speech to the joint session of Congress by President Trump, about how he's so terribly unfair to illegal aliens, talking about crime. It's not. Oh, it's terrible. Let's just have a couple of sound cuts here before we introduce our guest.
According to fact checks, the New York Times, the Congressional Research Service, the Washington Post, that undocumented immigrants are far less likely to commit violent crimes. Why this focus? Isn't this trying to arouse people's fears when there really isn't an issue?
Most studies show that undocumented immigrants aren't any more likely to commit crimes than citizens. In fact, they're less likely to do that.
Immigration was a big theme last night. The fact basis of the president, I want your take on it. Lawless chaos. You know, Senator, that immigrants in this country, even illegal ones, undocumented ones, do not commit crimes at the rate that the rest of the citizenry do.
The Washington Post today even compared Donald Trump to Hitler, not for the first time and surely not the last time, for bringing up illegal aliens. They said he was scapegoating innocent people. So we decided to reach out to Jessica Vaughn from the Center for Immigration Studies because she does this for a living. She studies these statistics. Jessica, you just heard all those sound cuts from such worthies as Andrea Mitchell and Chris Cuomo, et cetera. Is there any truth to what they're saying?
No, from all those experts on crime and immigration. I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is, someone like Maureen Maloney, who lives in Milford, whose son Matt was killed by an illegal alien drunk driver with Matt Denise. Yes. Do you think it matters to her whether or not that illegal alien was, any more or less likely to commit a crime than somebody else? That's not the issue. The issue is, what do we do with the many who are here committing crimes? But, to go back to the point about that, it's simply not true that illegal aliens or immigrants in general are any less likely to commit crimes than anyone else. There certainly are crimes that are associated with illegal immigration in particular. And if you look at the statistics put out by the U.S. Sentencing Commission, where they actually collect the immigration status or citizenship status.
I'm holding it up for the camera right now. I've got the sheet. Have we posted the sheet, Steve? We need to post the sheet online. Yeah, you sent it to us this morning. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. It turns out that 20% of the people who were sentenced in federal court for crimes in 2015, which is the last year available, were not citizens.
20%.
20%, and immigrants make up actually only 13% of the population. So you can say that immigrants are more likely to be sentenced in federal court for a crime. So I would interpret that as meaning they are more likely to commit a federal crime, and this is not including immigration crimes. We're talking murder, we're talking kidnapping, burglary, fraud, money laundering, and these are all crimes, drugs, especially drug trafficking and drug possession. 77% of the people sentenced in federal court for simple possession of drugs were immigrants.
Right.
And that's because most of them were trafficking it over the southern border.
But I'm looking at simple possession. 77% in federal court are aliens. Kidnapping / hostage taking. 49% are aliens. Murder, 16.5% are aliens. So where are these numbers coming from? Even if they're fake numbers, where are they getting these numbers from? Jessica Vaughn from the Center for Immigration Studies. Go ahead.
A bunch of academics put out a study a few years back that used Census Bureau data because they badly wanted to find out that immigrants were more law-abiding than Americans. Because they wanted to make the case that local police should have nothing to do with ICE. It's not a logical progression of ideas, but they tried it anyway. But the Census Bureau doesn't report this information. Census Bureau reports on the institutionalized population. So they took that and they found that non-citizens are less likely to be institutionalized than American citizens. And they ran with that and said, oh, see, they're not incarcerated. That has even the Census Bureau says, that's not good data to use for this question. The quality of it's bad. You really can't say that, but that hasn't stopped them. What we need is for law enforcement agencies to actually track this and disclose to the public how many people are being held on ICE detainers and actually collect this information. The federal government is going to start to collect it now under the Trump administration because the president has ordered them to do so in one of his great immigration enforcement executive orders. So soon we will have more information.
I'm just looking at some of these other ones here. Fraud, 19% illegals. Let's see, auto theft, 18% illegals. These are crimes that these are not. An auto theft is not a victimless crime. If you've ever had your car stolen, you know that. You know what I mean?
Right.
This.
Although Mayor Menino thought it was.
I know that's exactly what I was thinking of. Mayor Menino in Boston once said that people shouldn't be illegals shouldn't be deported for a minor crime like stealing your ar. You ever walk outside and you don't find your car in front of your house? It's not a minor crime. I'll tell you, as anybody who's ever had it happen to them knows. So what about these? So this, and the problem has only gotten. I personally think the problem has gotten worse, Jessica, because you have the cops have been told that it's not their fault. It's the politicians have told them to look the other way for so many of these crimes that illegals commit that I think they become emboldened and they think that there are no laws for them. And in many cases, they're absolutely right. And you have these ridiculous sanctuary cities and sanctuary counties, and now you're talking about sanctuary states. And I think it's just leading to even more and more crime.
There's no question that when people are not held accountable for crimes that they commit, they feel emboldened to commit more, and this definitely translates to the immigration context. If nothing happens to you when you get caught driving without a license a few times and driving without insurance, well, is anything going to happen to you when you drive somebody else's car? Or, you begin to think that you can get away with stuff. When you can skip out on your hearings, you can fail to pay all of your tickets. You're not going to be held accountable for anything, and so it becomes a paradise for criminals.
Yeah, we're speaking to Jessica Vaughn from the Center for Immigration Studies. She's one of the real great scholars on this issue of illegal immigration. There was this story a couple of weeks ago about this quote unquote dreamer. I think he was down in Fort Worth, Texas, and he got pulled over for outstanding traffic warrants, and he was hauled away, and it became a civil rights issue. Now, Jessica, you know, and I know if we didn't pay traffic, if we had outstanding warrants for unpaid traffic tickets, we wouldn't be able to call it a civil rights issue. They'd say, "Why didn't you pay your damn tickets?" You couldn't renew your driver's license, you couldn't renew your registration, so you're driving unlicensed, unregistered. You knew what was going to happen to you. The cops towed away your cars, they handcuffed you. You had to make bail. I mean, I don't understand it. They've established in many cases, I think, a double standard of justice here. One higher standard for American citizens and legal aliens, and no standard whatsoever for illegal aliens.
I'm waiting for the time now. I don't, go around committing crimes, but if I do, I wonder if I'll be able to say, "Oh, but I have 4 kids. Right. It's okay."
Right. Right. Yeah. I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal, and I'm some of these people aren't even in jail. They've just been sent away, and their kids are shocked watching the president make his joint address to Congress. That was the case in Arizona with that woman that was deported to Mexico. That woman was a criminal. She committed identity theft. Americans go to prison for identity theft. As a matter of fact, she went to prison, too, for identity theft for a while.
And there was an actual victim, too, that was reported in Arizona papers. There's a guy who Social Security number she used. That's a federal crime and messes up his life.
Right. And again, we've talked about this before, Jessica, I think. There are a number of Americans now turning 65, 62 to 67 or 70, and they go down, they finally retire, they go down to the Social Security office, and they say, "I'd like to apply for benefits." And what happens? The person filling out the paperwork does a double take and says, "Somebody's already collecting your Social Security," right?
That's exactly right. It does happen, and it happens to people trying to join the military. It happens to people trying to sign up for benefits that they are entitled to because they're citizens or their kids are, and they can't get them. It happens to people trying to get a mortgage. and are told they can't because of, the credit history of whoever stole their number.
Mm-hmm.
It is the tip of the iceberg is what, we know about. The Treasury Department estimates that there are something like 8 million compromised Social Security numbers in the country.
8 million.
Because it's
8
so
million.
worthless.
And sometimes, and you're, it could be that your number is compromised, and you're not going to know it until you actually have to ask for some money back from the system you've been paying into all these years. 781, I'll let you go here in a minute, but 781 says, how can they possibly know the number of crimes committed by illegal invaders when they can't even get a real name out of them? And a lot of them have these fake identities.
Well, that's why we have secure communities with fingerprinting, so that when someone gets arrested, the fingerprints would go to the feds and to ICE, so that they couldn't get away with lying about their name and citizenship to local cops. That was the whole purpose behind that program that Governor Patrick tried to block, that President Obama tried to dismantle, but President Trump has reinstated now.
God bless him. Jessica Vaughn from Center for Immigration Studies, where should people go if they want to read more on your work and your organization's work?
www.cis.org.
Thank you for correcting the fake news media yet again, Jessica Vaughn. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. I guess I'll have to do a blog now, too.
It'll be a full-time blog correcting people like Chris Cuomo and Andrea Mitchell. Be a 24-hour-a-day job, I think. Thanks for the call, Jessica Vaughn. We appreciate you checking in with us. I'm Howie Carr.
Don't move. Howie Carr is back next.
So you call yourself a fan of the Howie Carr Show, but you're not a VIP club member? You're missing out. Howie's VIP club members get daily commercial-free, on-demand podcasts of the show and access to Howie's stack of stuff. Plus, as a VIP club member, you get 5% off and free shipping every day in the Howie store. And if that's not enough, you'll get an additional 10% off Howie's cheap bastard deals. Sign up now at HowieCarrshow.com. And when you become a VIP club member today, you'll get a free in-studio VIP experience. Get to HowieCarrshow.com and click VIP Club to sign up.
Are you sick and tired of waking up during the night to go? Those constant interruptions during the day? A common problem for men of a certain age. Well, after a few months of taking Prostate Revive, this is no longer an issue for me, and it doesn't have to be for you either. This all-natural formula created by renowned holistic physician Dr. David Brownstein was formulated to target those uncomfortable issues related to prostate health. I'm proof that all-natural Prostate Revive takes care of my prostate issues. I'm sleeping restfully through the night, and everyone knows that a great night's sleep is critical to a productive day. Prostate Revive works for me, and I know it can work for you too. The people at Prostate Revive are offering my listeners a special deal to try Prostate Revive. That's right, my listeners can get a 30-day supply risk-free. Just pay $4.95 to cover shipping and handling. So do what I did. Revive your prostate with Prostate Revive. Call 1-800-300-2700. 1-800-300-2700. That's 1-800-300-2700. Or go to revive411.com. That's revive411.com.
For 20 years, Helping Hands of America has made donating your car, truck, or boat to a local charity so easy, and it's tax deductible too. All you have to do is call 888-881-9090 and donate your vehicle, running or not, to Association of Blind Citizens, Sacred Hearts Missions, or Meals on Wheels. Donate your car or boat today to a local charity right here in New England. And pickup is fast and free. Call 888-881-9090 or visit their website at helpinghandsofamerica.org.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And by the way, they're coming from all over the world, including the Middle East. Why not? Come on in. We're stupid, we'll take care of you, we'll pay. Get sick, we'll take care of your hospitalization. What kind of a plan do you want? Oh, Don, you're a little controversial. You're talking about illegal immigration. I said it's illegal. The premiums are going through the roof. The deductibles, frankly, you have to get hit with a Komatsu tractor in order to use them. They're so high.
The Iranians are great negotiators. The Persians are great negotiators. And we have people that are babies.
Nature'sYouth.com. Nature'sYouth.com. See, at Nature's Youth, they understand exactly what it means to provide top-quality health products. And Nature's Youth customers not only improve their health, they know they're also providing their body with the right nourishment to maintain that peak performance and fight the aging process. If health, wellness, and nutrition are what you desire, Choose Nature's Youth RSF. I did. You see, you're going to get older. It's just up to you how you feel when you get there. Get started today. Nature's Youth RSF. Simple to use, simple to order. Go to nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com.
Hi, this is Howie Carr, attorney at law. Are you a white male who voted for Donald Trump? Do you have a Make America Great sweatshirt or a hat? Have you had a beer since November the 8th? If you answered yes to one or more of the above questions, there's a good chance that you are soon going to be charged with committing a fake hate crime. Will you be ready, you uneducated redneck? When you get charged with committing a fake hate crime, will you be ready? You need reasonable doubt at a reasonable price. And that's where Howie Carr, attorney at law, Esquire, comes in. Call me at 1-800-FAKE-HRC. 1-800-FAKE-HRC. And we will get you some legal insurance for when it inevitably occurs and you're charged with a fake hate crime.
Want to spend a day in studio with Howie Carr? Get to HowieCarrShow.com and click store to get tickets to Howie's in-studio VIP experience. Now, back to Howie Carr.
And the idea that I was part of a, quote, continuing exchange of information during the campaign between Trump surrogates and intermediaries for the Russian government is totally false. That is the question that Senator Franken asked me.
I love all these words. These are crazy words that they use, and here are two more of them. Trump campaign surrogates met with intermediaries of the Russian government. Did anyone from the Russian government ever meet with anyone from the Trump campaign? And they're violating all the laws involving privacy and national security by leaking all this stuff. So do you think if they had anything, don't you think they would have leaked it out by now? This is at least the fourth story that's been in the front page of the New York Times, and then there's the Washington Post, and then there's sloppy seconds for the Wall Street Journal, and they all lack one thing: facts. You know, where is the smoking gun here? There is no smoking gun. Arthur, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Arthur.
Hey, Howie, thanks for taking my call. Well, you know something, you just echo what I was about to say. There's absolutely no proof. These are all innuendo stories from one newspaper like the Washington Post or the New York Times, and then another newspaper says, according to the Washington Post, right, this is what happened. You know, they play the same game all the time.
I know they put in these words in the headlines because they know most people only read the headlines: investigation, dossier, probe, Russian hacking, and then you read down to the story, and then again, the New York Times used to put in the third paragraph, there's no there basically. Now they've dumped it down to the ninth paragraph because I guess they figure people are getting wise to the fact that there's no evidence here of anything.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. How is it that when the New York Times publishes secret documents, that were leaked, and that the person who leaked them should go to jail, why is it the person the entity that publishes it? Why aren't they criminally responsible?
Oh, because they're the answer to that, Arthur. It goes back to the Pentagon Papers, back to the First Amendment. Really, I mean, they're protected by the freedom of the press, and that's why nobody ever wants to go after them. So they don't want to make a martyr out of these people. But again, these are criminal leaks, and they don't care. They don't care. And when Obama was president, they went after one time. They even went after a reporter for the New York Times. I mean, could you be any more obsequious to Obama than the New York Times? And they still went after the guy. They went after the Associated Press.
He used the Espionage Act more than any other president before him.
Right. But that was okay. Nobody was complaining. No one was comparing Obama to Hitler, were they? Thanks for the call, Arthur. Matt, you're next with Howie Carr. Quickly, Matt.
I'll be fast, man. I'm so disgusted. When are they going to get some testosterone up there? Sessions shouldn't have recused himself. They ought to just tell him, get bent. We're doing the right thing.
I agree. I tend to agree with you, Matt. But I mean, they wanted to just take the heat off, and he's going to recuse himself from an investigation that's not really an investigation because there's nothing there. There's you know what now, Matt? They're blaming Comey again. I mean, could Comey have rolled over any more for Hillary Clinton than he did last 4th of July weekend? I mean, he said I could indict her, but what's the point? That's basically what he said at the press conference. And now he's evil. And they're saying it was Carlos Danger. That's why they reopened the investigation and it cost her the election. And that wasn't a 15-year-old teenage girl in North Carolina. That was a Russian hacker. I'm telling you, that's what a Russian intermediary or whatever they call him, or a surrogate. I'm Howie Carr.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
We have proven that we can actually be civil to each other. In fact, just before taking the dais, Hillary accidentally bumped into me, and she very civilly said, "Pardon me." I know Hillary met my campaign manager, and I got the chance to meet the people who are working so hard to get her elected. There they are, the heads of NBC, CNN, CBS, ABC.
Not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code TALK.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
The Howie Carr Show continues next. We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
We have proven that we can actually be civil to each other. In fact, just before taking the dais, Hillary accidentally bumped into me, and she very civilly said, "Pardon me." I know Hillary met my campaign manager, and I got the chance to meet the people who are working so hard to get her elected. There they are, the heads of NBC, CNN, CBS, ABC. There's the New York Times right over there and the Washington Post. They're working overtime. True.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code TALK.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And the poll just came out, and I'm tied with Jeb Bush. And I said, oh, that's too bad. How can I be tied with this guy? He's terrible. He's terrible. So Uma is getting classified secrets. She's married to Anthony Weiner, who's a perv. No, he is. I beat the people from China. I win against China. You can win against China if you're smart. But our people don't have a clue. And then the next day, he'll be called by special interests that supported him, his lobbyists who push him around like a piece of candy. We have heads being chopped off because they're Christian in the Middle East. We have borders where people are being killed all of. The world is cracking up, and they're worried about my tone.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hi, folks. In a world of GMO, genetically modified organisms, that is, chemicals, processed foods, and a healthcare system that's unraveling like a cheap suit, it's time to prepare. God created herbs, and herbs help man. Our body can heal itself, just sometimes we need assistance. You need some help? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Our mild detox is quite powerful with its unique blend of 8 different herbs. And if you're looking for more, our non-GMO supplements will help you with different needs you might have. Health should be a top priority. Take care of your health naturally. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Give your body a treat. Let the herbs do their thing naturally. Read all the testimonies on the website, GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Sickness and viruses are like intruders, and herbs are like warriors. Let the tea work for you. That's GetTheTea.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And I've known Hillary for a long time. This is the first time ever, that Hillary is sitting down and speaking to major corporate leaders and not getting paid for it. We've learned so much from WikiLeaks. For example, Hillary believes that it's vital to deceive the people by having one public policy and a totally different policy in private. Now, I'm told Hillary went to confession before tonight's event. But the priest was having a hard time when he asked her about her sins, and she said she couldn't remember 39 times.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hey guys, it's Grace from the Howie Carr Show. Gifts are always great, but who really needs more stuff? Let's be honest, between Christmas and the New Year, it's hard to come up with a nice way to give a great gift without just regifting that old fruitcake. But luckily, we have the perfect gift idea for you. It's the Howie Carr Show VIP experience. If someone you know is a fan of Howard Lauren's car, then this is the perfect way to celebrate any occasion. Come visit Howie in our brand new studio and watch the entire show. Best part? Well, if you were to ask Howie, he'd probably say the Kowloon. And I can't really disagree. But there is also no other way to see all of the behind-the-scenes work that goes into New England's favorite radio show. Get your picture with Howie and a selfie with yours truly. We've had over 100 people enjoy the VIP experience, and the reviews have been stellar. We've even had the occasional guest on air to tell their own funny story to the listeners. So don't delay and buy your VIP experience today.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
And you even mentioned Kellyanne and the picture on the sofa. But I really just want to know what was going on there. Because, you know, I won't tell anybody. And you can just explain to me that circumstance, because she really looked kind of familiar in that position there. But don't answer.
Live from an undisclosed location.
According to fact checks, the New York Times, the Congressional Research Service, the Washington Post, that undocumented immigrants are far less likely to commit violent crimes. Why this focus? Isn't this trying to arouse people's fears when there really isn't an issue?
Most studies show that undocumented immigrants aren't any more likely to commit crimes than citizens. In fact, they're less likely to do that.
Unchained and unstoppable.
Last night, we learned that Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General of the United States, lied under oath to his colleagues in the Senate and to the American people about his communications with the Russians.
Well, I have not met with any Russians at any time to discuss any political campaign, and those remarks are unbelievable to me and are false, and I don't have anything else to say about that.
What about
so thank you.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
And have you met with the Russian ambassador in your capacity?
I have. I've met with the Russian ambassador with a group in my capacity with a group of other senators. Yes, that happens. We meet with all the ambassadors, or try to anyway, to build the relationships.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
1-844-500-4242. That's the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show. If you'd like to join us here this afternoon, every weekday afternoon, that number is also the number of the Chump Line. Press 2 for the Chump Line when you dial in at 844-500-4242. And you can leave a voicemail message that we may or may not play at this hour every weekday. The Chump Line is the voicemail messaging service of the Howie Carr Show, and it's brought to you every weekday at this time by Matthews Brothers, whose Maine-made windows are available only through Better Lumber Yards and window professionals like J.B. Sash and Door in Chelsea. Home of the Window Boys, serving the window and door needs of contractors, architects, and homeowners for over 75 years. J.B. Sash and Door in Chelsea, or on the web at jbsash.com.
Lovey, here's a good one. Why did the maitre d' at Mar-a-Lago refuse to serve Elizabeth Warren? Because she didn't have a reservation.
I thought it was because they asked her what she wanted for dessert, and she said Indian pudding.
Hey, Howie. Governor Patrick calling. Wow, the Obamas got a $60 million advance on their books. That's more than the $1 million advance I got on my bestseller. Have you ever gotten an advance on that long-form tabloid trash you write? We're going to be staying.
I may have never gotten a big advance, but I've gotten something that Deval Patrick never got. You know what that is? A royalty check. That means I paid back the advance. Deval has yet to ever reach that point, nor will he ever, I don't think.
Hey, Howie, what do you mean the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is not the best state in the Union? What are you, a denialist? Just ask any of your high-paid politicians.
Hey, exactly right. What did I've got the quote here now. I'm going to use it in my column for tomorrow from Governor Tal Deval Baker. We also do have a bipartisan approach to working together. People are okay with the ideas of compromise and collaboration. Here's how they compromise and collaboration. I'll give you a $60,000 pay raise if you'll give me a $60,000 pay raise. Oh, I think we can work together on that.
At the rate the Biden family's re-intermarrying, you may have to dig up a copy of the old country classic, I'm my own grandpa.
A couple of people have mentioned that in emails and on the text line. Is that Willie Nelson? Did he write that or did he just sing it? I don't know. I saw it attributed to Willie Nelson. But we've got some more details on the Biden family. Did you know that Hunter's daughter, Maisie, her best friend is one of the Obama kids, and Muchel and Kathleen Biden, that's the scone woman that's been dumped by Hunter Biden so he can be with his sister-in-law. They're best friends.
I think she was the one doing the dumping, Howie.
Well, she dumped him after. The circumstances are unclear, but something very, shall I say, untoward happened on the 4th of July in 2015, according to the divorce filings, which I now hold. in my hands and will soon be reading to you aloud and salaciously.
Hey, Democrats, the 1980s called. They want their Cold War and spy mentality back.
Hey, I got one better for you. The 1950s called. They want their Red Scare back.
Howie, Brian Williams calling. Donald Trump holding the glass with two hands was like something out of Seinfeld. And I should know, I co-created that show, and I starred as Kramer.
I didn't know that. I thought you were in MASH. But I guess you were in MASH before you became executive producer of Seinfeld.
I got to side with Pelosi on this one, Howie. I ran into an old college buddy on a tarmac last week on my way to a plumbers convention in Vegas.
You got to hear this one. We got to play this one again. We haven't played it enough. We'll play it out. We can play it after the Chump line. This Nancy Pelosi, a reporter, had engaged in some drive-by journalism and said, "Is this that big of a deal?" When Bill Clinton met with the Attorney General on the tarmac at the airport in Phoenix, and then we'll give her response when we come back from the next break.
You remember, why were the Democrats dressed in white the other night? Was there a keg of Senator Byrds after?
The only thing they were missing was the hood.
Earlier today, we found out that Pelosi is still very stupid.
Is it just stupid, or is it more than that? She is approaching the witching age of 80.
I wonder if illegal immigrants would be seen as committing as much crime as legal immigrants if they were actually prosecuted.
I think when you don't, as Jessica Vaughn said, when you don't prosecute somebody, they become emboldened. That's the whole broken windows theory of urban policing. You know, you crack down on the little offenses, or you used to crack down on the little offenses pre-Bill de Blasio in New York City, for example, like squeegee guys, graffiti, public urination, because you would just discourage the criminals from committing greater crimes. And when you were busting them for the relatively minor offenses, oftentimes you would find a weapon in their on their person.
Oh man, how I gotta hand it to that there Hunter Biden, man after my own heart. Oh wait.
Did you know Hunter Biden, it turns out, was also on that, what is it, Ashley's, what do they call that thing?
Ashley Madison?
Ashley Madison, the swingers or the cheaters website. He was there too.
And he's got a nose like a vacuum cleaner.
He's got a nose like a Hoover vacuum cleaner, as Roger Clinton said. He specified the type of vacuum cleaner, a powerful one.
That was your last Chump Line message. Thank you for calling Howie Carr, you chump.
All right, that's it for the Chump Line today. The Chump Line is the recorded voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show. You can call and leave a message at any hour of the day or night. We may or may not play your message at this time each weekday. The Chump Line number, if you'd like to leave such a message, 844-500-4242. Press 2 for the Chump Line. The Chump Line is brought to you every weekday at this time by Matthews Brothers, whose Maine-made windows are available only through better lumber yards and window professionals like J.B. Sash and Door in Chelsea, home of the Window Boys, serving the window and door needs of contractors, architects, and homeowners for over 75 years. J.B. Sash and Door in Chelsea are on the web at jbsash.com.
Lovey, here's a good one. Why did the maitre d' at Mar-a-Lago refuse to serve Elizabeth Warren? Because she didn't have a reservation.
I'm glad. I really believe the rest of the country is catching on to Elizabeth Warren. I certainly pray they are. I'm Howie Carr.
The Howie Carr Show.
It's here, Howie Carr's latest book, Kennedy Babylon, A Century of Depravity and Scandal. Kennedy Babylon is a whirlwind tour of scandals from the days of the Kennedy clan's rabidly anti-Semitic patriarch to the death of JFK Jr. Ann Coulter says Howie Carr is making Kennedy books great again. You'll love the never-before-seen images of the Kennedy family in Howie Carr's latest book, Kennedy Babylon, A Century of Depravity and Scandal. Now shipping. Order today at HowieCarrshow.com. Click Kennedy Babylon.
Are you sick and tired of waking up during the night to go? Those constant interruptions during the day? A common problem for men of a certain age. Well, after a few months of taking Prostate Revive, this is no longer an issue for me, and it doesn't have to be for you either. This all-natural formula created by renowned holistic physician Dr. David Brownstein was formulated to target those uncomfortable issues related to prostate health. I'm proof that all-natural Prostate Revive takes care of my prostate issues. I'm sleeping restfully through the night, and everyone knows that a great night's sleep is critical to a productive day. Prostate Revive works for me, and I know it can work for you too. The people at Prostate Revive are offering my listeners a special deal to try Prostate Revive. That's right, my listeners can get a 30-day supply risk-free. Just pay $4.95 to cover shipping and handling. So do what I did. Revive your prostate with Prostate Revive. Call 1-800-300-2700. 1-800-300-2700. That's 1-800-300-2700. Or go to revive411.com. That's revive411.com.
President Trump has a secret plan to change America. It's all in David Horowitz's #1 best-selling Big Agenda. It reveals 5 major predictions about Trump that have already come true, and 16 more soon to happen. Howie Carr says you need to read Big Agenda. Newsmax calls it the best Trump book yet. Find out why the media hates Big Agenda. It's in bookstores everywhere, or get our free offer at 800 Newsmax. 800 Newsmax or BigAgenda411.com. That's BigAgenda411.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
It's great to be here with 1,000 wonderful people, or as I call it, a small, intimate dinner with some friends. Or as Hillary calls it, her largest crowd of the season. I have no doubt that Hillary is going to laugh quite a bit tonight. Sometimes even at an appropriate moment. You know, last night I called Hillary a nasty woman. But this stuff is all relative. After listening to Hillary rattle on and on and on, I don't think so badly of Rosie O'Donnell anymore.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain, and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about Angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone, and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll-free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com. If your home has hard water, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes, damaging your appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars each year. You can eliminate limescale in the entire house with HydroCare products available at Wave Home Solutions. Easy and efficient with no maintenance, no salts, no chemicals, and no coils. And you can buy with confidence from Wave Home Solutions. Performance guaranteed. Just go to bestwater411.com. That's bestwater411.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Read the uncut edition of Howie's latest Boston Herald column at HowieCarrShow.com. This is the Howie Carr Show.
Today's poll question is brought to you by Wicked Good Cupcakes. For birthdays, anniversaries, or a special thank you, do it with Wicked Good Cupcakes. My personal favorite is double chocolate. Order today at wickedgoodcupcakes.com. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Whose living arrangements are stranger? Hunter and Hallie Biden, or Barack Obama and Valerie Jarrett?
I even before this report on the divorce filings of Hunter and Kathleen Biden came out, I was saying the Bidens, and I stick with that.
Well, it's not like they're living in Joe's house.
Well, I'll read you the stuff after the bottom of the hour. It's pretty amusing.
Well, you've persuaded a few people over to your side. 20% now say that Hunter and Hallie Biden are the stranger living arrangement.
Okay.
80% are with BO and VJ.
By the way, one of the Obamas is mentioned in the divorce filing, or at least one of the kids.
Well, you know, Joe and Obama, they're best friends. How many times have they hung out since they left office?
I have no idea. But I know that Maisie, which is Hunter's daughter, is her best friend is one of the Obama kids who goes with her to the elite private school that they want to keep everybody else out of. You know. By stopping charter schools. Anyway, a lot of people want to talk about Jeff Sessions. He recused himself today from the Russian investigations. I don't know what they're investigating. I'll repeat that again. But he's recused himself, and we'll take some calls on that in a minute. But the attacks on members of the Trump administration continue unabated. And again, these are things that would get Republicans into a lot of trouble. Remember when Rush got into all that trouble with Sandra Fluke back a few years ago, and he said, why do we have to pay for her birth control pills at Target around the corner from Georgetown University, where she was, I think, going to law school. It's $9 a month. That he called her all kinds of things and all this stuff. So anyway, you saw Kellyanne Conway the other day. The president was meeting with all these presidents of historically black universities, and she was on the couch to get a picture. She was sort of twisting around to get a picture of them all together, and she put her feet up on the couch, and it was a terrible thing. Again. Remember what Bill Clinton was doing in the Oval Office with Monica Lewinsky? And they defended him to the hilt, so to speak. A poor choice of words on my part, but you know what I'm getting at. So anyway, there's this guy named Cedric Richmond. He's one of the employers of the dreaded Awan brothers, the Pakistanis. We're going to have somebody from the Daily Caller on, by the way, to talk about them. These are the Pakistani brothers who were getting huge amounts of money, and they had connections to dodgy Iranians with Iraqi passports, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, Cedric Richmond is the congressman from New Orleans, and he is in the seat that was at one point held by William Jefferson. Remember him? Now, William Jefferson was the congressman who, during the Katrina hurricane, and New Orleans was flooded, he commandeered a rescue boat to get back to his house. You know why he had to get back to his house? Because he had hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash stashed in the freezer.
Legally obtained, I'm sure. You're telling me you don't have wads of cash in your freezer? I don't buy it for a second.
He didn't have power, so he was afraid that the cash was going to defrost.
It's a legitimate concern.
It is.
If the power went out at your Wellesley Manor right now, you'd be racing home to get the cash out of the freezer.
I would. I'm very concerned about it. But he went to prison, so now you have this guy. There was a Republican in briefly, an Asian Republican succeeded him, but he was knocked off. It's a Democrat district. And so now you got this guy, Cedric Richmond, and he said something that if he had been Rush Limbaugh, for example, or me, or you, most likely, he would have been run out of town on a rail. This is what he said about Kellyanne Conway.
And you even mentioned Kellyanne in the picture on the sofa. But I really just want to know what was going on there, because, I won't tell anybody. And you can just explain to me that circumstance, because she really looked kind of familiar in that position there. But
really? You don't say.
You got to watch the video, too, because he's at an event with Senator Tim Scott, and the look on Scott's face, he's kind of entertained, and he's going along with it, and he says that, and Scott's like, woo, and he looks away and covers his face.
Good for Tim Scott.
He knew. I think everybody knew exactly what he meant.
Yeah, and now he's saying that he didn't mean that. She just seemed to be familiar with the couch. Grace, what did you think of that?
That was the most sexist, rude thing I've ever heard. And when I heard Steve play it today, I said, who is that?
He's a Democrat, Grace. Nothing to see here. Move along. You know the way it works. Steve, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Steve, on the General Communications listener line.
Hey, Howie.
Hi.
Yes, love the show and everything, but just this thing with the Attorney General.
Yeah.
I think their decision is kind of a smart thing to do. To have him recuse himself, let them do their own investigation and fall flat on it.
Well, I don't think you want them just, giving somebody, some partisan Democrat subpoena power to just go digging around here, even if there's nothing there. I mean, it just sets a bad precedent, I think. And, and again, there was a lot of crimes that deserve to be prosecuted, not just by a special prosecutor, but just by the Justice Department or a U.S. attorney working for the AG and presenting evidence to a regular federal grand jury. They never did any of that in the Obama administration. They never prosecuted any kind of at least beltway political corruption. I mean, occasionally they made cases here in places like Massachusetts and elsewhere when it was totally out of control. Blagojevich would be another example in Chicago, the former governor. But they didn't prosecute. We went over the list: Fast and Furious, IRS, the Clinton emails, most famously. They didn't do any of that, and they're not going to have any special prosecutor. I guarantee you that. That's not going to happen, Steve. Thanks for the call. 1-844-500-4242. We'll take some more calls when we come back, and I do want to run down Hunter Biden's. Kathleen Biden's complaint against her estranged husband. Whew. Hot and heavy. I'm Howie Carr.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
She got kicked off the Watergate Commission. How corrupt do you have to be to get kicked off the Watergate Commission? Everyone knows, of course, Hillary's belief that it takes a village, which only makes sense, after all, in places like Haiti, where she's taken a number of them. I wasn't really sure if Hillary was going to be here tonight, because I guess you didn't send her invitation by email. Or maybe you did, and she just found out about it through the wonder of WikiLeaks.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hey there, quick question for you. Would you be okay with more energy, more endurance, thicker, healthier hair, a better mood, reduced appearance of wrinkles, improved sleep, improved blood pressure and cholesterol profiles, improved vision, improved memory? Okay then. Well now, have you heard of Nature's Youth RSF? It's from the anti-aging experts at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. See, at Nature's Youth, they understand exactly what it means to provide top quality health products. And Nature's Youth customers not only improve their health, they know they're also providing their body with the right nourishment to maintain that peak performance and fight the aging process. If health, wellness, and nutrition are what you desire, choose Nature's Youth RSF. I did. You see, you're going to get older. It's just up to you how you feel when you get there. Get started today. Nature's Youth RSF. Simple to use, simple to order. Go to nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com.
PatriotPrepared.com carries the leading brands of storable food from Numana, Legacy, and Heaven's Harvest. Patriot Prepared. Our name says it all. We're dedicated to empowering you to be self-reliant and confident in any circumstance. Whether you want to be prepared in the event of an emergency or you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, PatriotPrepared.com has prepackaged meals and kits for your entire family. Legacy, Heaven's Harvest, and Numana are known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. Simple to prepare, easy to store, gluten-free and organic high-quality nutrition options with a 25-year shelf life. You can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. So go to PatriotPrepared.com right now to pick up your supply of high-quality storable food for your family, because it makes good sense to be prepared. That's PatriotPrepared.com.
And now one of Howie's biggest fans.
Some of the hats were crocheted, you ignorant Republican. It's pronounced creme de la creme, you stupid Republican. He's 12 years older than me. I wish he'd learn how to speak English. He's 12 years older than I, because you would say he's 12 years older than I am. You wouldn't say he's 12 years older than me am. I wish you would learn English. Go to Mexico, learn English, then climb over this wall that's not going to be built and paid for. Bye. Have you tried the Donald Trump sandwich yet? It's bologna with Russian dressing, a tiny pickle on white. Do you really think everyone of voting age has a driver's license? That shows what an idiot you are. Do you think somebody 97 who wants to vote has a driver's license? You're an idiot. You're the biggest idiot.
He says it because he means it. This is the Howie Carr Show.
This hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you in part by Newton Wellesley Hospital. Call Newton Wellesley Hospital Center for Weight Loss Surgery at 617-243-3724 or go to nwh.org/weight loss. I run into more and more people who've had the sleeve operation, either at Newton Wellesley or elsewhere. And again, I've never run into anybody who said, I really feel bad I had this operation. You know, I don't weigh 300 pounds anymore, and I'm really angry about it.
Have you signed your pugs up for the procedure yet?
They're doing fine. They're doing fine. They're going to have their annual checkup tomorrow. I should be on Fox and Friends. They tell me they're not going to cancel me out tomorrow, so I got to do.
Well, there might be more fake news that breaks tonight in the Washington Post that bumps you off. I think that's what you're really angry about, is getting bumped off Fox News by fake Jeff Sessions news.
I think that's what did it, actually. So it's
of course.
It's one of those things. And by the way, my excerpts from Kennedy Babylon are supposed to start in the Herald on Sunday now. So I'll let you know how that's going too. I should have a good column tomorrow. And this is the last chance for all those Republican reps at the State House to give me a call or send me an email and explain what you did. I'll leave it at that. That'll be my tease on my column for tomorrow.
You had way too much fun sending out emails you knew you weren't going to get a response on.
Yeah. I love sending out a "When did you stop beating your wife" column. An email, excuse me. But anyway, you can read about the excerpt from my book in the Kennedy Babylon. I'm going to hold it up for the Howie Cam here. And it's you can read the excerpts. There's going to be 3 days, supposedly, in the Herald starting Sunday. And who knows how it'll turn out. I thought they were going to be in there today. But anyway, my new book is now shipping. If you haven't ordered it yet, listen up. We've got a special offer today. When you buy the book before 9 o'clock tonight, we'll give you a free $10 Howie Carr Show gift voucher. You can use it to buy anything in the Howie store, T-shirts, hats, books, anything. So get to HowieCarrshow.com, click Kennedy Babylon to order my new book, and we'll send you that free $10 Howie Carr store gift voucher. HowieCarrshow.com, click Kennedy Babylon. Okay. Before we get back to the phone calls, and I think mainly people want to talk about Sessions, this is worth sharing with you from the Daily Mail. Again, why do I have to go to an English newspaper to read about the divorce filings of Kathleen Biden the estranged, soon-to-be ex-wife of Hunter Biden. She used to, and Hunter Biden, the younger son of Joe Biden, the former vice president, has deserted his wife, or he was thrown out of the house because he's apparently been doing his former sister-in-law, or his sister-in-law. I don't know if it's former or what happens when his brother died, Beau Biden, as you know. In a motion that was submitted just last month, Kathleen Biden accuses her husband of throwing money away by, quote, spending extravagantly on his own interests in the year since the two made the decision to formally separate. The two made the decision. She threw him out of the house. Kathleen goes on to claim that these interests of Hunter's include drugs, alcohol, prostitutes, strip clubs, and gifts for women with whom he had sexual relations. Note that, women, plural. Not just, he's cheating on Hallie. He's cheating on the woman he's cheating on his wife with, I guess.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Because of that spending, Kathleen claims the family has no funds to pay legitimate bills. On or about February 17th, 2017, that's less than 3 weeks ago, Miss Biden learned that Mr. Biden was in possession of a large diamond on information and belief worth approximately $80,000. Maybe it was given to him by William Jefferson. Maybe William Jefferson found it in his freezer in New Orleans. Okay. She and Hunter formally separated in October of 2015, which was 3 months after she kicked him out of the house on July 15th because of his, quote, his conduct the night before, meaning the 4th of July. Kathleen does not detail his abysmal conduct in her filing, which would have occurred 1 month after Hunter lost his brother Beau to brain cancer. So Beau dies in June of 2015, and Hunter gets thrown out of the house for something he did. And by the way, the kids were out of the house. Kathleen gets a bit more specific in the motion she filed last month, saying that on July 4th, 2015, the couple's minor daughter, Maisie, was not in Washington, D.C. She was in L.A. with her grandfather, Joe, and her best friend, Sasha Obama, watching the World Cup. Hallie's two children were also not at home, as her father-in-law also took along, meaning Uncle Joe, also took along her son Hunter and daughter Natalie on the trip. This is when, so there were no kids in the house.
I feel like Inspector Carr has detected a clue here.
Let's see. Beau just died a month ago, and the kids are all out of the house on the 4th of June. What could have happened that night?
Was there a bottle of Mad Dog 2020 involved?
Was there a little blow? I know it was July, but I'll bet there was a lot of snow in the house that night. His judgment is frequently impaired, said Kathleen. And then a month after the incident of his unspeakable behavior on the 4th of July, it was reported that a Robert Biden's name was found among the hacked records of users on the extramarital affair of the website Ashley Madison.
Come on, Biden's a common last name. Could have been any Biden.
That's right. It could have been. Hunter and Hallie have been seen occasionally together in recent months. They back in August, they were attending the Blue Dream Summer Gala in Southampton, New York. Oh, they were in the Hamptons. Oh, could it be any more beautiful people than that? The event was honoring the Beau Biden Foundation for the Protection of Children. Oh, because they're protecting the children so well, right?
413 says, Hunter sounds like he has fine, normal democratic virtues. Or maybe those are what Gillibrand was talking about, our values, our democratic values.
The Democrats are looking for some young blood. They may have found it here. They may have found he's not even 50 yet, right? I mean, that makes him he's the kid in Democratic national circles here. Let's see. Not present that night in Southampton was Kathleen, the sconed woman, who that same weekend was spotted enjoying dinner and a few drinks with her best friend back in Washington, D.C., Michelle Obama. Michelle is Kathleen's best friend. I'm surprised Kathleen didn't move into the house rather than Valerie Jarrett, because she's short on money. She says it in the filing, in her complaint. Moochell and Kathleen have a lot in common, with both women being lawyers and having grown up in Chicago. I'm going to guess they grew up in different parts of Chicago. Just a hunch. Inspector Carr is willing to make that guess. Their two daughters, Sasha and Macy, are best friend Maisie, who are best friends who play on the same sports team and both attend Sidwell Friends School in D.C. Moochell and Kathleen have frequently been spotted out together. In this past April, Moochell lent her White House star power to a Voices Against Violence event being hosted by Kathleen. Oh, that's swell. This is so sad. As I told Sheriff Clark, try not to let this destroy your faith in the integrity of the Democrat Party. To which he responded an hour and a half ago, there is no integrity in the Democrat Party. He should know. He's an elected Democrat official, right?
So what's Inspector Carr's conclusion? Did this romance begin before or after Beau Biden died?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Hunter Biden was playing doctor with the shades drawn on the 4th of July, 2015. They were playing Bury the Brisket with the shades drawn. All right, 1-844-5. I'm not going to hazard a guess. I'm going to present the evidence to the grand jury and let them hazard a guess as to who exactly he was having this third-rate romance and low-rent rendezvous with. Let's take one call here. Brent's been holding on for a long time. You're next on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Brent.
Hi, Howie.
Hi.
I'm sorry. I was just beating my wife, and you know how it is.
He's joking, folks. Joking.
I'm joking. And I want to say, Sheriff Clark, God, I respect you so much, and it was absolutely amazing, especially the CPAC speech, which I hold dear to my heart. You know, not to get off on subject with the Biden incident, but, you know, in simple terms, I've been watching the Sessions issue of the DOJ stuff. You know, it followed Trump's speech and, the joint sessions. And the only word that I could possibly come up with, is Nicola, Machiavelli, 1469, modern psychology, dark triad personalities, duplicity, interpersonal style. You know the story, Howie. I mean, it's really frustrating. We have hit a tipping point.
You know what, though, angers me, Brent? I never really, some people thought he was going to go down. I don't think he's going to go down. I never did, because I know how much Trump likes the guy. But, I'm like Sheriff Clark in the sense that what really irritates me is how quickly people like Lindsey Graham and John McCain and Jason Chaffetz, for even him, a guy from a safe district in Utah, they couldn't wait to throw Sessions under the bus, even though they know the guy very well and they know what kind of guy he is. They're just such gutless media suck-ups. It's just very off-putting, I think. Thanks for the call, Brent. 1-844-500-4242. How come these little wimpy Democrats can all stand together? And, people like McCain. I mean, McCain is a war hero. I don't care what anybody says. He is a hero, and he was in that prison camp at the Hanoi Hilton for 5 years. He could have gone home early. All he had to do was sell out his mates, and he didn't. And yet, some wimpy pajama boy puts a microphone in front of his face and asks him to stab one of his colleagues in the back. He can't grab the shiv fast enough. It's pitiful. I'm Howie Carr.
The Howie Carr Show continues next.
It's a big bad world out there. More reason than ever to learn how to protect yourself and your family. I urge you to visit SigSauerAcademy.com today. Sig Sauer Academy is the world's premier firearms, self-defense, and tactics training facility, and it's just 1 hour north of Boston. The Sig Sauer Academy offers over 110 courses from beginner level to expert, taught by some of the most experienced instructors in the business. There is no better firearms, self-defense, and tactics training anywhere. The Sig Sauer Academy in Epping, New Hampshire. Learn more at SigSauerAcademy.com. Tell them Howie sent you.
For 20 years, Helping Hands of America has made donating your car, truck, or boat to a local charity so easy, and it's tax deductible too. All you have to do is call 888-881-9090 and donate your vehicle, running or not, to Association of Blind Citizens, Sacred Hearts Missions, or Meals on Wheels. Donate your car or boat today to a local charity right here in New England. And pickup is fast and free. Call 888-881-9090 or visit their website at helpinghandsofamerica.org.
Captain Parker's Pub wants to remind you this Saturday is St. Patrick's Day, and the Cape Cod St. Patrick's Day Parade is returning for its 12th year. Join New England Patriots defensive back Brandon King as he leads this year's parade along Route 28 in Yarmouth. Also see dozens of marching bands, Irish step dancers, Clydesdales, antique cars, and family-friendly entertainment. The 12th annual Cape Cod St. Patrick's Day Parade this Saturday, March 4th in Yarmouth. Visit CapeCodPatsParade.com for more info. And after the parade, stop by Captain Parker's Pub on Route 28 for a bowl of New England's best clam chowder.
We've all seen what happens when a crab fishing ship's hydraulic system fails on the Bering Sea. Well, you don't have to be dead in the water. Bring your broken hydraulic hose assembly to the Parker store, and their certified specialists will replace it while you wait. From land to sea, small to large, the Parker store will get your hydraulic hose assembly back up and running. Parker store locations are throughout New England. Visit theparkerstore.com, theparkerstore.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And I don't want this evening without saying something nice about my opponent. Hillary has been in Washington a long time. She knows a lot about how government works. And according to her sworn testimony, Hillary has forgotten more things than most of us will ever know. That I can tell you. Now, if some of you haven't noticed, Hillary isn't laughing as much as the rest of us. That's because she knows the jokes. And all of the jokes were given to her in advance of the dinner by Donna Brazile. Here she is tonight in public, pretending not to hate Catholics.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hi, this is Andrea from Ever So Humble Pie Company in East Walpole. Well, it's that time of year when comfort food is king. And now, in addition to our delectable dessert pies, we're offering home-style classics like chicken pot pie, shepherd's pie, and Canadian meat pie. Simply turn on your oven and you'll have a wholesome, hearty meal. Pick up a fruit pie while you're here, and you've got dinner and dessert from Ever So Humble Pie Company. For more information, call us at 508-660-9731 or visit us at eversohumble.com. That's eversohumble.com.
It's here, Howie Carr's latest book, Kennedy Babylon, A Century of Depravity and Scandal. Kennedy Babylon is a whirlwind tour of scandals from the days of the Kennedy clan's rabidly anti-Semitic patriarch to the death of JFK Jr. Ann Coulter says Howie Carr is making Kennedy books great again. You'll love the never-before-seen images of the Kennedy family in Howie Carr's latest book, Kennedy Babylon, A Century of Depravity and Scandal. Now shipping. Order today at HowieCarrshow.com. Click Kennedy Babylon.
Would odors, mold, and mildew describe your basement or crawl space? It doesn't have to be that way. Transform them into a fresh, healthy, usable one with the technologically advanced Wave Moisture Control Units. The computerized operation maximizes moisture control and also expels harmful radon, combustion gases, and numerous other pollutants. Dehumidifiers are old technology that do nothing for air quality and waste energy. Wave units are intelligent, self-monitoring, do not need maintenance, and will save you hundreds in electricity. Wave units are still running effectively over 15 years. They've been tested and installed in public and military housing and by property managers nationwide. Buy a unit now, and if your home is not fresher and drier, you can return it for a full refund for up to 12 months. What have you got to lose? Call now. 1-888-618-WAVE. 1-888-618-WAVE. Or visit mydryhome.com. That's mydryhome.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Have you seen Howie's latest t-shirts and sweatshirts? Grab one now at HowieCarrshow.com. This is the Howie Carr Show.
Remember when Betsy DeVos, the education secretary, was having her confirmation hearings in front of the Senate, and they were giving her so much grief for saying that some schools needed to have a gun, a firearm on site because maybe a bear might be in the area, and they laughed at her and said what a bitter clinger she was and a deplorable, et cetera, and how low rent that was. Now, Connecticut, one of the bluest, most corrupt states in the Union. 2 schools in Southington, Connecticut were placed in a secure school mode after a black bear was spotted nearby.
So how exactly is a school secure if it doesn't have a gun?
Exactly. There was a bear sighting near DePaulo Middle School. The animal was moving in the direction on Spring Lake at the time, moving in the direction.
Were the janitors like sharpening broomstick handles?
I know. Were they going? Yeah. Were they going to hit it over the head with their mops? Or are they going to just feed it some mystery meat from the school cafeteria and hope it died?
When the black bear is close to the school, you really want to hang out around the fat kids at recess because you don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to be faster than the fat kids.
Later, police informed school officials the bear was moving eastward in the direction of Rogers Orchards. This isn't a good time to get apples off the ground. There's been snow on top of them for a couple of months. This is a down time of the year for a bear to be in an orchard and away from any of the schools. Oh, thank goodness. All right. Headline in the Herald website: entire mass delegation calls on AG Jeff Sessions to resign, liar. Does that include Elizabeth Warren? Is Elizabeth Warren calling someone else a liar? Again, these Democrats, they have no sense of self-awareness. They don't realize they don't care how hypocritical they sound when they call somebody what they are. Dave, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Dave, on the General Communications listener line.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Yeah, it's really great to hear the diversion tactics of you. When story like this Sessions thing comes out and you decide to talk about, the ex-vice president's son's divorce. Pretty funny.
I'm glad you were amused. I certainly thought it was very funny. We talked about it for an hour in the first part of the show, Dave.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's nothing else to talk about.
Dave, tell me something.
Russian...
Dave, tell me give me some evidence of a Russian hack. Is there any evidence that you've seen? What is the evidence?
I don't have any, but you're not interested.
Guess what?
In
nobody else has any either.
That's not true.
Wait, well, if there is evidence, tell me what it is.
Well, someone has some evidence.
No, they don't.
I don't know who it is.
You don't know who it is. So you just believe? Do you believe in unicorns too?
Yeah, right, Howie.
Unicorns are as real as the Russian hacking. Do you know? Hey, let me ask you something. Right. Do you know who hacked into the Georgia database, voter database? Do you know who did that?
I don't.
The Obama administration, the Department of Homeland Security. Do you know who hacked in to the Indiana voter database?
Howie.
Do you know that?
Fact. I love the facts.
You don't. These are facts. I'm giving them to you. Do you want me to? I'm going to read you some details from the New York Times story today. This is the big story. Obama administration rushed to preserve intelligence of Russian election hacking. They preserved the evidence, but there's no evidence in the story. The details of the meeting were not clear. There is a suspicion that the Trump campaign might have colluded with Russia, a suspicion that American officials say has not been confirmed. Okay? An independent public assessment of the competing Obama and Trump administration claims is impossible. Okay? How about that? What's going on here? I don't understand. The nature of the contacts remains unknown. So, Dave, what are you talking about? Do you believe in the Easter Bunny?
Thank you, Dave. Speak, Howie?
He's an agnostic on the Easter Bunny. Charlie, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Charlie.
I think that maybe the Russian hacking thing should be investigated, and the way it should be investigated is on those 300 votes that ended up in a trunk of a car for Al Franken.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Al Franken, the guy who was questioning Jeff Sessions, not that he was doing a particularly good job. I mean, I wouldn't want him prosecuting the case. Not that he's a lawyer or anything like that. But that was a terribly worded question. But he has no business being in the U.S. Senate. I mean, that was a stolen election. I don't think anybody denies that. And you want to talk about stealing votes again. Illegal aliens were voting in Ohio. Were they voting for Donald Trump? They were stuffing ballot boxes in Detroit. That turned out in the Jill Stein recount, which Dave probably contributed to. Who was stuffing the ballot boxes in Detroit, I wonder? Was it Democrats or Republicans? I'm Howie Carr.
And now, 6 fun facts in 60 seconds with Grace Curley.
In 2006, an Australian man tried to sell New Zealand on eBay. The price rose to $3,000 before eBay shut it down. Reed Hastings was inspired to start Netflix after racking up a $40 late fee on a VHS copy of Apollo 13. In Japan, letting a sumo wrestler make your baby cry is considered good luck. The 50-star American flag was designed by an Ohio high school student for a class project. His teacher originally gave him a B-. According to the National Insurance Crime Bureau, the most commonly stolen vehicle in 2012 was the 1994 Honda Accord. The Arkansas School for the Deaf's nickname is the Leopards, the Deaf Leopards.
This has been 6 fun facts with Grace Curley in 60 seconds. Check out Grace's latest posts, pictures, and tweets at HowieCarrShow.com.
Hey there, quick question for you. Would you be okay with more energy, more endurance, thicker, healthier hair, a better mood, reduced appearance of wrinkles, improved sleep, improved blood pressure and cholesterol profiles, improved vision, improved memory? Okay then. Well now, have you heard of Nature's Youth RSF? It's from the anti-aging experts at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. See, at Nature's Youth, they understand exactly what it means to provide top-quality health products. And Nature's Youth customers not only improve their health, they know they're also providing their body with the right nourishment to maintain that peak performance and fight the aging process. If health, wellness, and nutrition are what you desire, choose Nature's Youth RSF. I did. You see, you're going to get older. It's just up to you how you feel when you get there. Get started today. Nature's Youth RSF. Simple to use, simple to order. Go to nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com.
The Howie Carr Show continues next. We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And then the market crashed in the 90s. So I had trouble, but it was sort of an amazing, I wouldn't want to do it again. It was an amazing test of yourself. Can you handle pressure? How are you under pressure? Are you smart? You know, when everybody's coming at you.
Sometimes in life to be successful, oftentimes, most of the time, you have to follow your instincts. You have to follow your gut. You have to. Your parents may say wrong. Your whoever may say wrong, but you have to do it.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hey there, quick question for you. Would you be okay with more energy, more endurance, thicker, healthier hair, a better mood, reduced appearance of wrinkles, improved sleep, improved blood pressure and cholesterol profiles, improved vision, improved memory? Okay then. Well now, have you heard of Nature's Youth RSF? It's from the anti-aging experts at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. See, at Nature's Youth, they understand exactly what it means to provide top-quality health products. And Nature's Youth customers not only improve their health, They know they're also providing their body with the right nourishment to maintain that peak performance and fight the aging process. If health, wellness, and nutrition are what you desire, choose Nature's Youth RSF. I did. You see, you're going to get older. It's just up to you how you feel when you get there. Get started today. Nature's Youth RSF. Simple to use, simple to order. Go to naturesyouth.com. That's naturesyouth.com. naturesyouth.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
You know, they say when you do this kind of an event, you always start out with a self-deprecating joke. Some people think this would be tough for me, but the truth is... The truth is I'm actually a modest person, very modest. It's true. In fact, many people tell me that modesty is perhaps my best quality. I'd like to address an important religious matter, the issue of going to confession, or as Hillary calls it, the 4th of July weekend with FBI Director Comey.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hi, this is Howie Carr, attorney at law. Are you a white male who voted for Donald Trump? Do you have a Make America Great sweatshirt or a hat? Have you had a beer since November the 8th? If you answered yes to one or more of the above questions, there's a good chance that you are soon going to be charged with committing a fake hate crime. Will you be ready, you uneducated redneck? When you get charged with committing a fake hate crime, will you be ready? You need reasonable doubt at a reasonable price. And that's where Howie Carr, attorney at law, Esquire, comes in. Call me at 1-800-FAKE-HRC. 1-800-FAKE-HRC. And we will get you some legal insurance for when it inevitably occurs and you're charged with a fake hate crime.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And then the market crashed in the 90s. So I had trouble, but it was sort of an amazing, I wouldn't want to do it again. It was an amazing test of yourself. Can you handle pressure? How are you under pressure? Are you smart? You know, when everybody's coming at you, sometimes in life, to be successful, oftentimes, most of the time, you have to follow your instincts. You have to follow your gut. You have to. Your parents may say wrong. Your whoever may say wrong, but you have to do it.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Many legislators claim to be for lower taxes and government transparency, but are they really? Massachusetts Fiscal Alliance keeps you informed by posting the voting records of our elected officials. You can log on to our website at massfiscal.org. Click Scorecard to see how your legislator is voting on Beacon Hill. And while you're there, make a donation. And be sure to join our email list so you can stay up to date with the latest information on what's happening at the State House with Massachusetts Fiscal Alliance.
Paid for by the Mass Fiscal Alliance, Rick Green, Chairman.
Hi, I'm Howie Carr, and I'm here with Rick Green of the Mass Fiscal Alliance. Wow, Mass Fiscal is really driving the moonbats crazy.
Who knew putting voting records online would be so controversial? Many legislators claim to be for lower taxes and government transparency, but they sure don't vote that way.
Your group is just what this state needs. How can the listeners help you guys?
Just have them visit our website at www.massfiscal.org.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
And you even mentioned Kellyanne and the picture on the sofa. But I really just want to know what was going on there. Because, you know, I won't tell anybody. And you can just explain to me that circumstance, because she really looked kind of familiar in that position there. But don't answer.
Live from an undisclosed location.
According to fact checks, the New York Times, the Congressional Research Service, the Washington Post, that
undocumented immigrants are far less likely to commit violent crimes. Why this focus? Isn't this trying to arouse people's fears when there really isn't an issue?
Most studies show that undocumented immigrants aren't any more likely to commit crimes than citizens. In fact, they're less likely to do that.
Unchained and unstoppable.
Last night, we learned that Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General of the United States, lied under oath to his colleagues in the Senate and to the American people about his communications with the Russians.
Well, I have not met with any Russians at any time to discuss any political campaign, and those remarks are unbelievable to me and are false, and I don't have anything else to say about that. So thank you.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
And have you met with the Russian ambassador in your capacity?
I have. I've met with the Russian ambassador with a group in my capacity with a group of other senators. Yes, that happens. We meet with all the ambassadors, or try to anyway, to build the relationships.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
So illegal aliens commit fewer crimes. Here's some more dreamers in the news. This is, again, the Daily Mail. You won't be reading this one in the New York Times. This is from Houston. 2 illegal alien gang members with a satanic shrine in their apartment kidnapped, drugged, and raped a 14-year-old girl and murdered another to appease an insulted demon. Nice story, huh? Miguel Alvarez Flores, 22, and Diego Hernandez Rivera, 18, charged in sick plot, MS-13 gang members. El Salvador killed one of the teens after she insulted and destroyed their demon shrine. The other was she was drugged. The other who survived said she was drugged and raped brutally. And this was these gangbangers, illegal aliens. Hours before they were arrested. 13 members of the same gang, MS-13, were arrested in New York for allegedly murdering 3 high school students. They're only killing the high school students and the teenagers that Americans can't be bothered killing. That's all. Don't worry about it. Nothing to see here, folks. Move along. I'm going to hold up my book before we have our next guest. Kennedy Babylon, my new book. It's just came out, and you can order it at HowieCarrShow.com. Just click on Kennedy Babylon. If you haven't ordered it yet, it's about a century of scandal and depravity, Volume 1, about the Kennedy family. We've got a special offer for you if you haven't ordered yet. When you buy the book before 9 tonight, we'll give you a free $10 Howie Carr Show gift voucher. You can use that to buy anything in the Howie store, T-shirts, hats, books, anything. So get to HowieCarrShow.com and click Kennedy Babylon to order my new book, and we'll send you that free $10 Howie Carr store gift voucher, HowieCarrShow.com. Now, as you know, the state of New Hampshire has a new governor, Chris Sununu, a familiar name, and he was on the executive council before. He won a narrow victory, and he was on a radio show here in Boston yesterday, and he blamed the Bay State city of Lawrence and its sanctuary city status for illegal aliens, for helping to fuel the drug trade in his neighboring states, saying there is, quote, no doubt that illegal aliens are helping peddle deadly fentanyl across the state border. Sununu, a Republican, said that sanctuary city issues in Massachusetts are having a direct impact on his state. For example, Lawrence, right, Sununu said, so you have undocumented drug dealers that are dealing these drugs and they are getting arrested, that are being given bail by judges. They're jumping bail, getting a new ID, and they're back in that same home dealing drugs a week later. It's an absolutely crazy system. So, of course, this has become a controversy. Not because it's not true, but because it's politically incorrect. Joining us now, he's been covering the story all day, is Paul Steinhauser from NH1 News. Paul, thanks for being with us here on the Howie Carr Show.
Hey, Howie, great to be back. Great to join you again. And, yeah, I mean, this is a big talker here in New Hampshire and also down your way in Boston. Dan Rivera, the mayor from
Lawrence, yeah.
He pushed back pretty big. He had a news conference around noontime. He said Sununu didn't know what he was talking about. He said, listen, Sununu's only been on the job for 60 days. And he said, it sounded like Sununu was going to come in here and take over Massachusetts, kind of deal with our, impede on our sovereignties. The office said, listen, I tried to reach out to Chris Sununu twice, couldn't get through. Howie, they finally did talk this afternoon, and Sununu put out kind of a nice statement saying that they talked. It was a good conversation, and he's invited Rivera to kind of help him draw up a plan to deal with this. But definitely a war of words going on here.
I heard it. I've heard the statement by Governor Sununu described as a bit mealy-mouthed, Paul. You know, I mean, I don't know. Go ahead.
No, yeah. One thing that Rivera asked, he said, "Hey, where did Sununu come up with that 80% figure?" Because Sununu said 85% of all the fentanyl coming across the border in New Hampshire was coming from Lawrence. What Sununu didn't say in the statement is where he got that figure. Now, that may be true. I don't know. I mean, hey, listen, Mass state authorities have said that there are some serious issues with Lawrence when it comes to drugs, but the 85% number, that is in question.
I wrote a column just last week about a Lawrence man, quote unquote. He's a Dominican national, apparently has a criminal record, and he got arrested at the DMV in Manchester. He was trying to pass off a Puerto Rican birth certificate, I believe, to get a driver's license, and he was arrested. And I'm on the email list of the New Hampshire State Police, as I'm sure you are. Mm-hmm. And every week they're busting Dominicans up in Manchester for getting fake driver's licenses. It's a big problem up there, and in both New Hampshire and in Massachusetts, whenever they catch somebody with fentanyl in the trunk of their car, chances are, you read down deep into the story in the newspapers or on the websites, and they say ICE agents are involved in this. I mean, I don't know what the exact percentage is, but it's a very, very big problem.
Oh, it's a huge issue. In fact, last year during the Republican primary for governor, one of the conservative candidates, she suggested putting the National Guard, the New Hampshire National Guard, on the border with Massachusetts to try to slow down the drugs coming into the state. So this is something we've been talking about up here nonstop. The Governor Baker today was asked about this, about the Sununu's comments, and he didn't really answer the question. He had a media avail.
What else is new?
He kind of talked about what Massachusetts has done. But he didn't really react.
Yeah, but see, he's trying to be, he's trying to be politically correct too. I mean, he says, I'm cracking down on the opioid epidemic, but he's going after Dr. Feelgood, and he's, making, some 80-year-old woman that has to have her teeth pulled. She needs some Oxys or Vicodin, and he makes her get 3 different prescriptions for 10 rather than 1, and he's pretending that that's the crackdown when, I know a lot of people get hooked on the prescription stuff, but what kills most people, I think, is the fentanyl that's being sold by predominantly, or at least, on the wholesale level, sold by illegal alien drug dealers. And I think that's what Sununu was getting at.
Yeah, I don't think his comments are going to hurt him one bit with the Republicans and the conservative base to put him into office. But yeah, you're right. He's getting attacked by Democrats. One of the top Democrats here in the state was blasting him today for these comments. This is a slippery slope, this one.
Yeah, I think if anything, this will help him out, because he has a reputation, among the more conservative elements of the Republican electorate up there as a kind of a squishy guy. And this sort of makes his bones. I know he gets a little grief from the I'm sure the Concord Monitor will look askance at his comments, but no one that's reading the Concord Monitor is voting for anyone named Sununu to begin with. Paul, am I right?
You got a very good point there. The Concord Monitor's editorial section known to be pretty liberal, Howie. You don't subscribe to that paper, do you?
No, I don't. Sometimes Officer Mark sends me a particularly moonbatty editorial or a letter to the editor, but that's about the only time I see it. I'm sure that
you're a Boston Herald kind of guy. I get it.
I'm a Boston Herald, New York Post kind of guy. Even the Wall Street Journal has gone a little soft in recent weeks, Paul. Anyway, I'm glad you're still around, Paul, and we'll be using you as our New Hampshire correspondent as the weeks and months go by. It's always good to see you, and you're on NH1. And where can people catch your reports?
NH1.com, and of course on 99.1 NH1 News, which plays your wonderful program every evening.
That's right. I'm on 4 hours a day, 3 to 7 every weekday on 99.1 FM NH1 News. And also I'm on WTSN as well, Paul. And so are you, right?
You're everywhere, Howie. You're everywhere up here, my friend. And always fun to contribute. And, hey, Howie, the 2020 primaries, presidential primaries, they're probably getting underway pretty quickly up here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, give my best to Cory Booker, that profile and courage. All right. Talk to you later, Paul. That's Paul Steinhauser from NH1 News. And again, the story is Chris Sununu. It was backtracking a little bit today on his comments. That's what Michael Kinsley used to say that a gaffe in Washington is when you accidentally tell the truth. Same thing applies in New England, doesn't it? As Chris Sununu found out yesterday. 1-844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
Hang on. The Howie Carr Show returns next.
Hello out there. Incredibly bad Christopher Walken impersonator here. I asked my friends at Matthews Brothers, after 163 years, how do you still stay inspired? They said, every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up. It knows it must outrun the fastest lion or it will be killed. Every morning in Africa, a lion wakes up. It knows it must run faster than the slowest gazelle or it will starve. Some days you're the lion, some days the gazelle. It doesn't matter. When the sun comes up, you'd better be running. So every day, up there in Belfast, they lace up their boots and hit the ground running. There are no shortcuts to success. And in a world where mediocre is the new normal, it's good to know someone still remembers this. You can see the results of this singular commitment to wicked awesomeness, but only at better lumberyards and window professionals or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
When your clothes are dirty, what do? You wash them. But what about your rings, bracelets, necklaces, and even those earrings you wear all the time? Well, if you aren't washing them, I've got news for you. They're definitely dirty. But don't freak out. The Aquasonic Wave Jewelry Cleaner is the best and easiest way to clean all of your jewelry at once. You put your jewelry in the Aquasonic Wave, and then you place the Aquasonic Wave in the dishwasher. And by using steam and water, it's left sparkling and just as beautiful as the day you bought it. Don't wait. Go to HowieCarrshow.com and click store. That's HowieCarrshow.com and click store to get your jewelry clean with the Aquasonic Wave.
Trucking companies and general contractors, keep your light to heavy hydraulic equipment running with the Parker Store. The Parker Store will replace your broken hydraulic hose assembly while you wait. New England locations include Bangor, Lewiston and Portland, Maine, Manchester, New Hampshire, Fitchburg and Weymouth, Mass, Cranston, Rhode Island, and coming soon to North Haven, Connecticut. Visit theparkerstore.com, theparkerstore.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
I say, hey, wait a minute. He didn't leave the country. He wasn't out of the country. Then Michael Cohen of the Trump Organization was in Prague. It turned out to be a different Michael Cohen. Sure. It's a disgrace. What took place, it's a disgrace. And I think they ought to apologize to start with Michael Cohen.
Sir, since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? Mr. President-elect, Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization.
You are attacking our news organization. Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state, Mr. President-elect, can you state categorically, Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question? You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not appropriate.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code TALK.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
Hi, folks. In a world of GMO, genetically modified organisms, that is, chemicals, processed foods, and a healthcare system that's unraveling like a cheap suit, it's time to prepare. God created herbs, and herbs help man. Our body can heal itself, just sometimes we need assistance. You need some help? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Our mild detox is quite powerful with its unique blend of 8 different herbs. And if you're looking for more, our non-GMO supplements will help you with different needs you might have. Health should be a top priority. Take care of your health naturally. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Give your body a treat. Let the herbs do their thing naturally. Read all the testimonies on the website, GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Sickness and viruses are like intruders, and herbs are like warriors. Let the tea work for you. That's GetTheTea.com.
Traveling around New England? Wherever you go, Howie's there. Find Howie's list of stations at HowieCarShow.com. Now, back to Howie Carr.
1-844-500-4242. During the break, I was thinking about a column I wrote last year. A guy was a fentanyl dealer was arrested up, I think, in Lowell. I mean, this wasn't New Hampshire, but it turns out he was an illegal alien. So I think I got it from the Lowell PD, and I asked them, I said, does he have an alias? And they said, does he have an alias? They gave me, I think, 10 names. 10 names. I'm sure he had EBT cards and at least 5 of them. And there's so many people that get arrested. I'm telling you, you start paying attention when somebody gets when you read a headline that says, Lawrence man arrested with fentanyl in the trunk of his car. And I guarantee you that they're going to say ICE agents involved, driving in addition to the drug charges.
Well, you can't guarantee that because sometimes they just don't put it in the story.
No, that's right. Yeah, that's right. And sometimes, as I've found out, much to my chagrin, when I call up and try to find out, if I call, say, the Middlesex County District Attorney's Office, it's like I'm the guilty party. I'm the bad person for asking the question: is this person an illegal alien? Fortunately, then I just say, do you have that police report? Yeah. What's the date of birth? What's the place of birth? Then sometimes they won't even tell you that if you get the wrong town, the PC towns. Today's poll question is brought to you by Wicked Good Cupcakes. For birthdays, anniversaries, or a special thank you, do it with Wicked Good Cupcakes. My personal favorite is double chocolate. Order today at wickedgoodcupcakes.com. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Whose living arrangements are stranger, Hunter and Haley Biden or Barack Obama and Valerie Jarrett?
Hunter and Haley.
You've convinced some more people. It's up to 21% who agree with you, but 79% say it's Obama and Jarrett.
All right. Okay. One last thing before we go back to the phone calls. This is from the Washington Post. Federal workers grow increasingly nervous about Trump's proposed budget cuts. They're worried about losing their jobs. And again, I'm very confused by this story because I swear I read a story in October that said that a poll was taken of federal workers, and a third of them in D.C. said they were going to quit if Donald Trump was elected president. So this should
very fake news.
I believe they would. I believe they did say that. I believe it was a real poll at the time. I just believe the people that were responding to the poll were lying. They had no intention of ever leaving. Again, one of my favorite Thomas Jefferson quotes about the federal bureaucracy: vacancies by death are few, by resignation, never. And it's truer today than it was all those years ago. Jake, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Jake.
Yes. Hey, Howie. Just to follow up with your thought there on the fentanyl and calling up on the illegals, how did we ever get to the state of mind where you feel guilty for people that committed crimes that shouldn't even be here? How did we get so conditioned? It's absolutely crazy.
I know, and you're not supposed. Yeah, and the governor of New Hampshire is not to say what's blindingly obvious to everybody who follows the news. I don't get it.
We've been conditioned, but I think we give it some time if the Trump administration goes in the right direction. But where we're at is, even though we're getting some of the greatest people, I think you could admit that, whether it was Mr. Flynn or Mr. Sessions, and now we got these crazy morons, the Al Frankens, who made me laugh maybe at Saturday Night Live, who I cannot stomach anymore, making these ridiculous arguments. We had an administration that was so corrupt and vile.
I agree.
These guys, how are they turning the table so quickly? It's sickening.
Well, it helps when you got the media. It helps when you have the alt news, the alt left fake news media on your side, Jake, as you well know. Thanks for the call. 1-844-500-4242. Nobody, for 8 years, nobody ever called these people out. Well, a handful of outlets did, but basically nobody. By the way, Jeff Sessions will be on with Sean Hannity tonight on his show at 9 o'clock. Oh, Tucker Carlson. Oh, I thought it was Sean. Okay, it's Tucker Carlson at 9 o'clock. Okay, that's good. Tucker has an even bigger audience than Sean Hannity does. 1-844-500-4242. Tom, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, Howie, how are you?
Good.
That story about the DOJ and the slush fund.
Yes, I got that.
I have some interesting info on that. Do you know who Obama's domestic immigration senior policy advisor was?
Who?
Cecilia Munoz. She was former vice president of La Raza.
Real? Oh, I think I do. I think I did know that. In case you haven't heard what Tom is talking about here, this is in FoxNews.com. GOP wants to eliminate shadowy DOJ, Department of Justice, slush fund bankrolling leftist groups. The Obama administration funneled billions of dollars to activist left-wing organizations through a Department of Justice trust fund, slush fund scheme, according to congressional investigators. It's clear partisan politics played a role in the illicit actions that were made, Representative John Ratcliffe, Texas, told Fox News. The DOJ is the last place this should have occurred. Findings spearheaded by House Judiciary point to a process shrouded in secrecy whereby monies were distributed to a labyrinth of nonprofit organizations involved with so-called grassroots activism. Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch, he's been a guest on the show many times. He runs that. Advocates for big government and progressive power are using the Justice Department to extort money from corporations. It's a shakedown, pure and simple. So here's the way it works. The big banks get sued by the government for discrimination or mortgage abuse, sometimes very unfairly. They, like the Elizabeth Warren's brainchild, They just look at names and they decide whether you're discriminating or not. They settle cases by donating to third-party non-victims, like La Raza. $3 billion so far. I'm Howie Carr.
And now, 6 fun facts in 60 seconds with Grace Curley.
In 1999, the U.S. government paid the Zapruder family $16 million for the film of JFK's assassination. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know, but on average, a licking machine made at Purdue needed 364. Famed ice cream makers Ben & Jerry originally considered getting into the bagel business, but the equipment was too expensive. In 1980, Detroit presented Saddam Hussein with a key to the city. In 1986, iPhone maker Apple launched a clothing line. Between 1900 and 1920, tug of war was an Olympic event.
This has been 6 fun facts with Grace Curley in 60 seconds. Check out Grace's latest posts, pictures, and tweets at HowieCarrShow.com.
Hey guys, it's Grace from the Howie Carr Show. Gifts are always great, but who really needs more stuff? Let's be honest, between Christmas and the New Year, it's hard to come up with a nice way to give a great gift without just regifting that old fruitcake. But luckily, we have the perfect gift idea for you. It's the Howie Carr Show VIP experience. If someone you know is a fan of Howard Lawrence Carr, then this is the perfect way to celebrate any occasion. Come visit Howie in our brand new studio and watch the entire show. Best part? Well, if you were to ask Howie, he'd probably say the Kowloon. And I can't really disagree. But there is also no other way to see all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into New England's favorite radio show. Get your picture with Howie and a selfie with yours truly. We've had over 100 people enjoy the VIP experience, and the reviews have been stellar. We've even had the occasional guest on air to tell their own funny story to the listeners. So don't delay and buy your VIP experience today at HowieCarrshow.com. Click store. HowieCarrshow.com. Click store.
If your home has hard water, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes, damaging your appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars each year. You can eliminate limescale in the entire house with HydroCare products available at Wave Home Solutions. Easy and efficient with no maintenance, no salts, no chemicals, and no coils. And you can buy with confidence from Wave Home Solutions. Performance guaranteed. Just go to bestwater411.com. That's bestwater411.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
And now, 6 fun facts in 60 seconds with Grace Curley.
If your dog's feet smell like corn chips, you're not alone. The term Frito feet was coined to describe the scent. Ew. Officials in Portland, Oregon drained 8 million gallons of water from a reservoir in 2012 because a drunk 21-year-old peed in it. Also ew. There's a basketball court above the Supreme Court. It's known as the highest court in the land. If you start counting at 1 and spell out the numbers as you go, you won't use the letter A until you reach 1,000. Wendy's founder Dave Thomas dropped out of high school but picked up his GED in 1993. His GED class voted him most likely to succeed. William McKinley was on the $500 bill, Grover Cleveland was on the $1,000 bill, and James Madison was on the $5,000 bill.
This has been 6 fun facts with Grace Curley in 60 seconds. Check out Grace's latest posts, pictures, and tweets at HowieCarrshow.com. Grace Curley is giving you her take on the news of the day. Read Grace's latest column at HowieCarrshow.com. This is the Howie Carr Show.
Grace has several good little vignettes or columns today at HowieCarrshow.com. And one of them involves Nancy Pelosi. And again, Nancy Pelosi was asked, she demanded the resignation of Jeff Sessions, which isn't going to happen as Attorney General. And some reporter at her news availability said, well, what about when the previous Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, met Bill Clinton on the tarmac at a secret meeting in Phoenix, Arizona? There was not supposed to get out, but a reporter in Phoenix, a local reporter, not one of the pajama boys in the White House press corps, found out about it and blew the whistle. So wasn't that a lot worse than Jeff Sessions running into some guy at the Republican National Convention and then having him over to his office in D.C. months later?
Thank you for your question, because there couldn't be a starker difference. Attorney General Lynch had a social encounter. Serendipitous, but some might say. That the former president of the United States came by to say hello and they discussed their grandchildren. She did not have a major role in the Hillary Clinton campaign.
Right.
This is a completely different thing. The reason we have been saying...
Yeah, it's a real story.
The Attorney General, Sessions, should step aside and maybe should never have been confirmed is because he was a surrogate. He was a very important part, one of the first people in the Congress to endorse.
The difference is Sessions admitted he was a surrogate, and Loretta Lynch didn't. Loretta Lynch, maybe you call her functionary. I don't know, but it's that's what she said. Clinton came by to say hello. I mean, it could have happened to anybody. You know, you're in your private jet. Somebody else is in their private jet. You're the person in the other private jet is the chief law enforcement officer of an agency that's about to possibly indict your spouse. So you stop to discuss your grandchildren or golf. Hey, happens to me all the time, right? It probably has happened to you more than once.
Very serendipitous.
Serendipitous is the word I would use. Come by to say hello is the description I would use of that meeting. So anyway, the New York Times, they have this new slogan, the truth is more important now than ever. Or maybe it's matters of truth or truth matters. I get all these, whenever you have one of these fake news organizations that comes up with a new slogan that involves truth or democracy or darkness, you know you're dealing with very fake news. Very
fake news.
Very fake news. So the New York Times runs a story earlier today about Jeff Sessions and the congressional reaction to this non-news about his meeting with the Russian ambassador. And they include these two paragraphs that I'm about to read to you. Senator Claire McCaskill, Democrat of Missouri, cast doubt on Mr. Sessions' explanation that he had met with the Russian ambassador because of his duties as a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, saying that was beyond the panel's jurisdiction. Here's the quote from her tweet. I've been on the Armed Services Committee for 10 years, she wrote on Twitter on Thursday. No call or meeting with Russian ambassador, period, ever, period. Ambassadors call members of Foreign Relations Committee, unquote. Okay? I'm holding it up now. Why are those two paragraphs in blue? Because they were deleted. Why were they deleted by the New York Times? They were deleted because somebody went back and looked at her previous tweets, and in 2013 and in 2015, she was bragging about going to a meeting with the Russian ambassadors. Twice. Not once, twice. And then she claimed this morning that she had never met with the Russian ambassador. So the New York Times removed it. Here's the new version. Guess what? There's no correction. There's no clarification. But hey, they only had 6 reporters bylined on the story, so I guess they didn't have time to write a correction to their original fake news about Claire McCaskill and her non-meetings with the Russian ambassador. 1-844-500-4242. Andy, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Andy, on the General Communications listener line.
Hey, Howard, how are you doing today?
Good.
About all the stuff that's going on with the Flynn and Sessions, to kind of plug one of your...
Andy, are you listening to Stairway to Heaven?
I just got a text message, sorry.
Hold on, Andy. Your text message ringtone is Stairway to Heaven? Doesn't that get obnoxious?
My wife thinks so after a couple of texts. Yeah.
I would have, if I was doing one, I would do the Immigrant Song or maybe Houses of the Holy. But anyway, go ahead, Andy. I'm sorry. I'm just goofing around. Go ahead.
The whole Flynn and Sessions thing.
Yeah.
To plug Ann Coulter's book, Demonic. She was back in 11. She brought up the October surprise. I don't know if you remember that from the Reagan years.
Oh, I do. I do remember it. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
And I'm reading that part of the book. It's exactly what's happening now with Trump and all his people.
What they did. What he's referring to is that again, like this Russian hacking story, the Democrats invented a story out of whole cloth. They said that George Bush had vanished, George H.W. Bush, he was the vice presidential candidate with Ronald Reagan, that he vanished from the campaign trail and flew to Paris in a private jet and then met with the Iranians and begged the Iranians not to release the hostages before the election, which would have given a boost to Jimmy Carter and might have enabled him to win re-election. And so books were, Andy, you're going to be reading, if you haven't gotten to it already, books were actually written about this alleged trip by George Bush to make sure that the hostages were held a couple of more months so that they could defeat Jimmy Carter. And then it turns out that all the references to the days he was missing in Paris, supposedly, he was actually out on the campaign trail.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually, I said I've been reading that. It's just deja vu of what happened back then.
Right. One of the guys.
And that went on for 8 or 10 years that went on for?
Yeah, one of the guys who actually wrote a book was a guy from Boston. And he wrote this. I mean, it was a book, not just a news story like these New York Times stories, like a couple of thousand words. This was a whole book, and it was about this fake news that George H.W. Bush had flown to Paris and all this. And later on, when they got all of Sid Blumenthal's emails, everything came out. When she turned over the emails, he was feeding this guy. This guy was now a freelance reporter. He was kind of in disgrace. He was a Harvard guy who was in disgrace, obviously. I repeated myself. Sorry about that. Sid Blumenthal was feeding him this BS, and he was just printing it, just panting like he printed this fake news about the 1980 election and George Bush going to Paris. And then Sidney would get this, would email the story, forward it to Hillary, and to show her what a good job he was doing planning fake news. So, I mean, this is like 30 plus years later. The guy is still in the fake news business, because as long as you're on the right side of the political divide, there's never any punishment. There's never any blowback for faking it. 1-844-500-4242. But Ted Kennedy, sending John Tunney over to the Kremlin to try to 4 years later to try to get the Russians to intervene in a PR campaign against Ronald Reagan, and he was going to get him on all the networks that he controlled in America. Nothing to see here, folks. Move along. That was a real story, but nobody wanted to touch that one with a 10-foot pole. Andrew, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead.
Hey, Howie, how are you?
Good.
Good. Hey, I've been hearing a lot about these drug dealers. I'm up in Maine.
Yeah.
Just wanted to bring to your attention, and I think it was 2013.
Yeah.
It was Obama who approved $75 million in equipment and training to Mexico so they could build a wall on their southern border to keep out illegal immigrants and drug dealers.
Right. Did you see, by the way, that today, Andrew, that the Mexican government said that when we start deporting these people, they said we'll take back Mexicans, but we're not taking back anybody else. Well, I mean, they snuck into your country, Mexico, and that's how they got to the United States, was trekking across Mexico. So you bear responsibility for the crime waves and welfare waves that they've unleashed on our nation. It's going to have to be worked out.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks for the call, Andrew. Ann, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Ann.
Good evening, Howie.
Hi.
I'd like to know, what are the repercussions for these news people, newscasters, and news reporters that are reporting this fake news? Why aren't they being sued by everyone and get them out of business? I mean, we got rid of Dan Rather. We got rid of Julie, whatever her name is there. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, 2 Cent Gail needs to go, along with old turtle Charlie Rose there, and pretty girl Nora. I mean, this is ridiculous.
And it's hard to sue them because the people they're talking about are public figures, and the standards for proving libel are impossibly high for public figures. And and here's the problem, that by promoting fake news, by being in the satchel for Democrats, these people get promotions. Like one of the guys that was in one of the most egregious hacks, by his own term, he described himself as a hack, who had his stories checked by John Podesta of the Clinton campaign when he wrote about the Clinton campaign. After the election, he was hired from Politico by the New York Times, Ann. So they promoted a fake journalist.
I mean, when we're paying, these people, as far as buying the newspaper or whatnot, I expect to have the facts reported. I mean, if I want to listen to fake news, I'll go by the National Enquirer and read that. I mean, isn't there a responsibility or an ethics code that these people even fall under?
No, Ann.
No.
Ha 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 ha. They, if you ask them, if you ask them about, are you under a code of ethics, they'll beat their breasts and say, I'm protected by the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. I'm protected by the Bill of Rights. Do you have a problem with that, you Nazi, irredeemable, deplorable clinger? You know?
Well, I guess what? I'm going to start the Burnham Tribune right here in Maine, and I'm going to tell you what. If anyone ever comes after me, I'm going to say, oh, no, I'm protected under the First Amendment.
That's what you're that's step one to becoming a fake news journalist, Ann, is to claim your First Amendment protections. Thanks for the call.
Good.
Jerry, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Howie. How are you?
Good.
Howie, on my next birthday, I'm going to be 70 years old. Before I die, I don't want to be represented by moonbats in this state. I am so
Good luck.
tired of it. My whole adult life.
Me too.
I can't believe the citizens of this state that constantly go to the polls and pull D. They're voting for the Democrat parties are not the same. I mean,
I know, Jerry. Around here, though, the R party is not that much different, though, is it? You have to admit
I understand that, but if they want to investigate something and call for a special prosecutor, how about a real crime, like making 30,000 emails disappeared after they had a subpoena?
I agree. I couldn't agree with you more.
Jeff Sessions didn't lie about anything. He answered the question. They blew it way out of proportion.
That's what they do for a living.
Hillary lying to Congress. So they got a cold.
You know what, Jerry? Maybe he should have said. Maybe he should have gone up there and said, you guys got a lot of questions about these about my testimony before the Senate committee. You guys got a lot of questions about my meeting with the Russian ambassador. I have one thing to say to you. What difference at this point does it make? How about that, Jerry? You think that would have been tolerated if it said that? Thanks for the call, Jerry. 1-844-500-4242. Jerry, and I echo what he said. He wants to live in a state sometime before he dies where he's not represented by moonbats. I don't think it's going to work out for you and me, Jerry. I don't think it's going to work out for Grace either, as a matter of fact. I'm Howie Carr.
Don't move. Howie Carr is back next.
So you call yourself a fan of the Howie Carr Show, but you're not a VIP club member? You're missing out. Howie's VIP club members get daily commercial-free, on-demand podcasts of the show and access to Howie's stack of stuff. Plus, as a VIP club member, you get 5% off and free shipping every day in the Howie store. And if that's not enough, you'll get an additional 10% off Howie's cheap bastard deals. Sign up now at HowieCarShow.com. And when you become a VIP club member today, you'll get a free in-studio VIP experience. Get to HowieCarShow.com and click VIP Club to sign up.
President Trump has a secret plan to change America. It's all in David Horowitz's #1 best-selling Big Agenda. It reveals 5 major predictions about Trump that have already come true and 16 more soon to happen. Howie Carr says you need to read Big Agenda. Newsmax calls it the best Trump book yet. Find out why the media hates Big Agenda. It's in bookstores everywhere, or get our free offer at 800 Newsmax. 800 Newsmax or bigagenda411.com. That's bigagenda411.com.
Hi, I'm Kurt Schilling, and I've started to do more television lately, and I've noticed something I never did before. I've worn a hat almost every day of my adult life, and I recently started to notice the hair on the front of my head was receding. Not a big deal, but seeing it on TV, it looked terrible. Over the years, I've heard about DiStefano hair restoration. The guys who pioneered the individual graft technique, or IGT. So I was talking to Howie Carr, who was raving about his experience there, and he told me how easy it was. And the best part is you're in and out in one day. Seems simple. So I decided to give it a shot. I had it done by Dr. Chris Hines, who's been doing hair transplants at the DiStefano Hair Restoration Center for 5 years. Dr. Hines and his team were amazing. So far, so good, and I can't wait to see my new hair growing in. Guys, don't procrastinate like I did. Call the DiStefano Hair Restoration for your free consultation. Financing is available with payments as low as $119. Just call 800-858-HAIR to learn more. That's 800-858-HAIR. Call 800-858-HAIR or visit hairman.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
While I'm not at this time a candidate for the presidency, I will decide by June whether or not I will become one. Business Week magazine, which is now Bloomberg Business Week, said in a vote of its readers that Donald Trump was the world's most competitive business person.
The Pew Research says that there are, for immigrants on the whole,
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Try getting it out. Go ahead. I know the greatest negotiators in the world. Some are horrible people, horrible human beings. Who cares? Some Wall Street guys, they're brutal, they're miserable. You wouldn't want to go out to dinner. They're terrible people. I love them.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap. But did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
PatriotPrepared.com carries the leading brands of storable food from Numanna, Legacy, and Heaven's Harvest. Patriot Prepared. Our name says it all. We're dedicated to empowering you to be self-reliant and confident in any circumstance. Whether you want to be prepared in the event of an emergency or you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, PatriotPrepared.com has prepackaged meals and kits for your entire family. Legacy, Heaven's Harvest, and Numanna are known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. Simple to prepare, easy to store, gluten-free and organic high-quality nutrition options with a 25-year shelf life. You can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. So go to PatriotPrepared.com right now to pick up your supply of high-quality storable food for your family, because it makes good sense to be prepared. That's PatriotPrepared.com.
Howie is saving you 50% off your favorite products and services. Howie's Cheap Bastard Deal. Thursdays at 3:30. Get to HowieCarrShow.com. Click deals. Now, back to Howie Carr.
Does anyone have Governor Sununu's email address? I'd like to forward him something that we just got from one of our local police friends from the Rhode Island State Police. It's a bolo. Be on the lookout for. And this especially you, Governor Sununu. A guy named Rony Alberto Martinez Pereira, DOB 32272, escaped from the custody of the Rhode Island Adult Correctional Institute, ACI, Cranston, today. Pereira is described as Hispanic, 6'2", 250, balding. He is incarcerated last year, charges of delivery, possession with intent to deliver controlled substances. It is believed Pereira escaped from custody because he will face deportation by the federal government at the conclusion of his prison sentence. Notice he didn't escape until after Trump became president. I guess he wasn't too worried about being deported as long as there was a Democrat in the White House. He'd just be given, probably a 5 or 6 EBT cards and a trip to the local welfare office to pick up his Obama phone if Hillary was president. Pereira has alias names of Gennaro Morant and a Massachusetts license in this name, and Tomas Cato and a Rhode Island license in this name. He has also been known to use the alias names Rony Martinez or Rudy Martinez. So he's got 5. He's got 5 aliases. Pereira is described as potentially armed and dangerous due to a previous offense for use of a firearm while committing an act of violence. But that's Sununu. He's racist for saying that illegal aliens deal drugs and have multiple aliases. How dare he say something like that? Can we post this? Can we tweet this out? Let's tweet this
out.
out.
Do you want me to share the part where it says "Do not share with media"?
Send it out. Send it out. They can trust me. I'm not like the others. Marlena, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Marlene.
Hi, Howie. Thank you so much for a wonderful show.
Thank you.
As you can tell, I'm an immigrant. I have a heavy accent. I am totally with Trump. I can't stand the fact that all the criminals are crossing the border and being rewarded with employment authorization card, social security number, and going direct to the system to get housing and food. I also think that Trump should demand Mexico to request Brazilian people to get a visa to go to Mexico, because not just Mexicans cross the border. Brazilians by millions.
Yeah.
Mexicans, El Salvador, Guatemala, Muslims.
Don't forget Honduras.
Haitians,
yeah.
Honduras. I have
Argentina. That woman that was deported from Belize. That woman that was deported from Mississippi today. She was from Argentina of all places. You know. I mean, what kind of oppression is she other than economic? Was she suffering in Argentina, Marlene? You know. We're all tired. Thank you, Marlene. I appreciate it. Thanks for supporting Donald Trump, and thanks for listening to the Howie Carr Show. We're out of time. Check out my column tomorrow. I'm Howie Carr.
We could play another